Joining us for the Penobscot County Commissioners meeting of October 1st, 2024, as we enter the fourth quarter of the year. I would like to call this meeting to order. Commissioner Baldacci.
Present.
Commissioner Marshall.
Present.
Mr. Treasurer. Present. And the chair is here. At this point, I would ask Commissioner Baldacci to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
Thank you all. At this point, I would ask for a motion regarding approving minutes of the September 17th, 2024 meeting.
Move to approve.
I have a motion to approve.
Second.
Have a second. Further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? It is unanimous.
Thank you.
At this point, we will enter public comment. I believe we have an individual who is online that wishes to participate. We do not at this point. Do we have anyone in the room that wishes to share a public comment? Seeing none, we'll close public comments. We do, okay. We do have Janet Drew. Ms. Drew, if you would like to provide your comments.
Hi. I had lost track of your meetings for a while, but I have been paying attention to, I live in York, but I still pay attention to what's going on around the state, and I'm still concerned that you're looking for land for the idea of building a new jail when all the data that's out there says we need more help in the communities. I heard Neil Gorsuch on C-SPAN this week, and he said that there's evidence that there's so many laws that people can break that they don't even know about, that, and he gave lots of examples, that we probably, the average adult probably commits 3 felonies a day without even knowing it. And so it's very easy once, if you're looking for a reason to arrest somebody, there must be one. We need less people in jail. We need people working in our communities. We need parole. We need you to think outside the jail box, please. Please look at community alternatives. Thank you. And I'm not staying on because you're not my county, but Mainers are my people. I hope you help them.
Chair, I would just comment, Neil Gorsuch must be referring to some of his friends on the Supreme Court.
Any further public comments? Seeing none, we will close public comments. Thank you all. At this point, we're a little early for the public hearing, so I would invite our EMA director and his assistant to join us up front. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
Thanks for being here and providing us with fascinating reading.
So, in support of our drone program, we developed a policy to make sure that both our agency and our representatives that will be flying the drones are well informed on what to do and what not to do. Working with the administrator, we put that through legal. They said it was very comprehensive with no remarks or edits. And so now we put it before you, please, for approval.
Great, thank you very much. Do we have any comments, questions at this point regarding the policy for unmanned aerial vehicles being used by the emergency management?
It's very well laid out, very comprehensive, thorough, and I'm assuming this is ties into the national protocols that...
It does, sir, yeah. So it meets all the Department of Homeland Security requirements.
And this will be a step to allow us to train certain individuals who would operate those on behalf of EMA at any incident that would be required.
That's correct. So Thomas, our GIS specialist, is currently the primary pilot, has his license. We've been doing some training already internally as a department, but he would oversee our volunteer cadre of certified pilots in support of our office. Yes, sir.
So he is therefore trained for FAA certification? Is that the step that needs to be taken?
Yes, sir. So it's called a Part 107 license,
Right.
which he has completed.
And is there any waiver that you have prepared for those individuals who agreed to participate in this program on behalf of the county?
Yes, so much like all of our volunteer support teams, we do have both an application, a waiver, and just a letter of commitment that they would sign and understand as part of being on the team. And then again, all volunteers in support of emergency management fall under Title 37B of the state for liability and workers' comp.
Okay. In the event that damage took place to one of the drones because it was inappropriately used, what happens?
Yep, so great question. So if we wouldn't be able to get that covered under insurance, then there certainly could be a discussion held with the pilot that was in charge of the drone at that time for recouping those expenses for the damages that were incurred.
Will that be included in the waiver?
I would say yes.
Okay.
We could put that in there as well.
I just think that most people who would do this would be conscientious, but in the event that something occurred, I think we need to protect the interests of the county as well.
Certainly.
I guess I would just comment, though, to be consistent, we've had many accidents for people within certain departments of the county that are avoidable accidents, many in patrol vehicles. We don't require them to pay for the damage. We pay through our risk pool insurance. So I don't think we should single out certain operators. And I think before you answer that, we should realize that there are other unintended consequences. We provide insurance, and there can be discipline, or there can be, but you can't, we shouldn't go down the road of saying they have to pay for the damage. There should be discipline or training or whatever, just to point it out, because we've had many accidents that are avoidable by employees of the county with county vehicles. And there's no, we should be consistent.
Yes, sir. And the current language in all of our deployable assets that we have, that we share with our communities, says something to that effect, where they may be held liable for compensation, but not necessarily, required or mandated. So it does have the flexibility in the language.
Are there any other counties that have a drone policy?
The only one to my knowledge, sir, is York County.
Okay. And is this model after that?
It does, yeah. So I use their policy as well as some others as a template to begin with.
Great. I appreciate the diligence that you've paid in preparing this. I think it's certainly of value. There's a lot of area in our county that these could be helpful in. So look forward to hearing back as this progresses. But I think we just need to state publicly that this is a different dynamic than an employee of the county. And sometimes you're in situations where expediency causes people to make choices that are not always in the county's best interest.
Yes.
So, thank you.
Thank you.
Do we have any further comment or question regarding the proposed policy? If not, I would entertain a motion regarding it.
I move we approve.
Okay.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second to approve the policy as presented regarding use of the EMA drones. All those in favor?
Aye.
It is unanimous.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
There is a signature page as well.
I believe most of us have
Okay.
gotten to that so far.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate your support.
Okay, gentlemen, thank you.
Deputy Director.
Thanks, guys.
And I see we are within 30 seconds of the time for the public hearing. Does there we go. The director and his able assistant are coming forward.
Morning.
If you want to brief us in, I think we'll be at the time to open the hearing.
The Five Lakes Lodge on South Twin Lake has had they're a bed and breakfast, and they've had an in-service license for several years now, so that you can only drink on premises. But last year they went and got this other license, so they now have a lounge connected to their bed and breakfast. So this license is only the second year they've had this particular license, and we've had no formal complaints on this location
Okay, great.
over 2 years.
All right. At this point, I feel comfortable opening the public hearing. Are there any individuals here that wish to speak in favor of the proposed liquor license renewal for the Five Lakes Lodge? Is there anyone online that we have? No one online, okay. Anyone who wishes to speak in opposition to the proposed renewal? Seeing none. Any who wish to speak neither for nor against? Seeing none, at this point, I will close the public hearing and I will entertain a motion regarding the renewal.
I'd move to approve the renewal of the license for Five Lakes Lodge.
Second.
And I have a second. Further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? It is unanimous. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I think you're safe for today, George. At this point, we would entertain a review of the probate budget, Department 11. Good morning. How are you, ladies?
Morning.
Mr. Bragdon, do you want to add anything, or should we let Renee roll into her presentation?
Renee, did you want me to take both the staffing?
Yes, you would.
Okay. Whichever way you guys want to handle it.
Good morning.
Good morning.
As in the past, we're going down, starting with the revenues, which are on track for what we had in the past. One of the revenues is going to be used to pay for half of a position that we'll be talking about during the staffing. Under the staffing, most everything is straight across the board based on the census, the steps and rates. And as you can see, the line down at the bottom of the staffing section discusses the part-time person that the probate revenue will pay a portion of. That's a half of it. The only other changes within the staffing are under the benefit section for the new health plan and for the new state of Maine leave law for the new state of Maine leave law. And Renee, if you want to take it from there.
Sure.
Good morning.
So highlight the
Yeah,
changes.
no real surprises.
Hold that right up to you. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
No real surprises on the budget.
Pull it down just a little bit. There you go.
There.
Thank you.
What we typically are keeping an eye on, obviously, is the court-appointed budget. We were a little worried once not worried, but once we went to the 150, but projected, I have some bills from one attorney that I need to update, but I'm probably looking at like 57,000, which will be a little bit higher, Scott, than what this was here.
Okay.
And the point of Commissioner Marshall, we spoke about the letter made to the Penobscot County Bar Association. Within 24 hours, we had 4 attorneys reach out to us. Four.
That's great.
And then
Additional attorneys beyond.
Additional,
Okay.
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Good.
And we had, I did have a couple people that said, I can't do a lot of cases, but if you need me, I will help out. And we've already had them. It's been an extreme improvement to what we've had, so.
Do you think that maybe a year-end report and reminder where you do have new attorneys entering the field each year might help you in continuing to add to that basis?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
That might be something we'd look at.
Yeah, so that was, I will say I did have one person say to me that I don't think it's gonna make a difference, just because he knows how busy attorneys are at district court. But I had mentioned to him, I said, by the way, and I had sent a couple of the responses I had, so I think it surprised a lot of people, but it made a huge difference raising that fee. And I think that we're being conservative as far as how much time we're allowing attorneys and letting the judge kind of take care of those cases. And So that's also been hugely helpful too, just keeping an eye on specifically how many hours are pointed to those attorneys. And at that point, if it goes over, they need to get permission from the court. So we're not just giving an allotment of hours and then them using that. So we're trying to be very careful about what we're using for each case.
Great, thank you. Any further questions regarding that particular item?
Thank you.
Okay, all right, anything additionally, you've got an added position here, do you want to speak about that?
The part-time person,
It's
we've
been
been
there.
there.
It's
yeah.
not a new position, it's been there.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're just anticipating that the surcharge will offset some of the expense going
Yes.
forward?
Yeah.
So I have, the part-time person we had was offered she's been phenomenal addition to our staff. A job was created for her at Hudson University. So we're losing her, but she also said that she would help us until we get that part-time person. So I'm
Transition.
yes, so I think that she might help us on Fridays. Her not being here on those 2 additional days would offset any time that she's here to help us with that new person, so. And as we discussed, that would end at a certain time, Scott, we talked about that, but
Yeah.
she was very gracious to have us help.
Would approve this?
I'd move to approve the Department 11 budget as presented.
A second.
So we have a motion and a second to approve the budget, Department 11 probate. Any further discussion, questions? Seeing none, all those in favor? It is unanimous. Thank you very much,
Thank you.
ladies.
Thank you. Nice job.
At this point, we will now move on to Department 34, which is the program portion of our budget. We have some presentations here from different agencies that are requesting funding. Do we want to go through the list as they present themselves?
Yeah, we can start there, and I think most of them, in scanning the crowd real quick, are present. So again, many of them have asked for an increase, so, if each one of them allow them a couple of minutes to come up and justify the increase, or thank you for continued support, if we head in that direction.
Okay. Is there anyone here who has a time sensitivity that we should be sensitive to?
I just needed to go first, but I'm listed.
That's right too, I'm sorry, Tamara, yes,
Okay.
yes, thank you.
Why don't you come right up, please?
See, that's why I told you you had to remind me.
Direct Response Services, Tamara Matthew. Thank you for joining us this morning.
Yes, thank you, commissioners. Thank you for the opportunity to speak with you this morning.
Oh, I put you first anyways.
Yes.
Or Mary Ann did, but yeah, anyway, keep going.
I am Tamara Matthew, and I serve as the Executive Director of Rape Response Services. I do want to thank you for your past and ongoing support over the years of Rape Response. A couple of years ago, we did receive a little bit of a bump up to our present level, and I did want to acknowledge that our request for this year represents another small increase. And I also want to say we know you have many requests, and we would be grateful for your continued support regardless of any increase or not. We know you have lots of needs before you and lots of your own needs as well.
Certainly. Thank you very much. And you do provide services to a wider area for most of the county or?
Yes,
or
we
beyond?
provide services across Penobscot and Piscataquis County, although the bulk of our services are in Penobscot. I know that you're familiar with our services from the letter. I'm happy to take questions. Of course, I want to highlight a new program for you as well.
Does Piscataquis contribute any amounts?
They do not. In the past, it was like $500 and very difficult to request to make. And we did not request anything in the past year. They've
Okay.
been very reticent to give funds.
Okay. Commissioner Barlachi.
You don't think it would make a point to make a request from them since you serve Piscataquis also?
Yes, did that for years and just didn't do it over the past 2 years, but yes, absolutely, can continue to do that and sort of put it out there in front of them.
One of the programs that you got involved with was the Child Advocacy Center, which is very important as far as with the district attorney's office.
Yes, Yes,
So
indeed.
how, just briefly, how is that program going?
The Children's Advocacy Center is going quite well, which sounds a little odd because that means there are allegations of child sexual abuse. But it serves a purpose for the multidisciplinary team, including the DA's office. As you're aware, there was a new law passed that allows the forensic interview to come in as evidence as long as the child is available to testify. So that's been a little bit of a game changer for the district attorney's offices around the state.
No, it's a great program, and you were very involved with getting it going, so.
Yes, back in 2016, I believe. Yes.
Congratulate you for that effort.
Thank you.
Okay. Anything further? Do we have a
I
motion?
move to approve the request of rape response services for $3,500.
Okay, have a motion?
Second?
Have a second. Further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? It is unanimous.
Thank you so much.
for joining us here, thanks for your work. At this point, Bangor Area Shelter. Do not see Mr. Cronholm or a representative at this point. Do you anticipate he is?
That was a maybe.
That was a
So,
maybe.
yep,
There was no,
Yep, we can
no-
move along.
There's no increase. What is the pleasure of the
I would
commission?
move to approve the request, which is the same request as we funded in several years as presented.
Do we have a second?
Yeah, second.
Have a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? It is unanimous. Bangor Interlibrary Loan Service. Morning, ladies. Okay, we'll add some chairs here for
Oh,
those.
there you go. Thank you. Set those there just for you.
Good morning, thank you for joining us.
Could you identify yourselves, please, for?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm Beth Christ. I am the Director of Special Projects at the Maine State Library.
I'm Mary Beckett. I'm the Director of Edith Dyer Library in Hamden.
I'm Cassandra Poole. I'm the Director of the Old Town Public Library.
Lauren Hackala, Director of Lincoln Memorial Library. Elizabeth Houghton, Cataloging and Collection Management, Edith Dyer Library.
Terrific. For those who may not be familiar with the Bill's program, can you briefly give us an overview of that for the vast viewing audience that we have?
Yeah, absolutely. And thank you for your time here today. We appreciate it very much. We've come in force because this program is so important to everyone in the county. So thank you for hearing us out. This program has been, as far as I understand, going since 2004, but the county commissioners have been generously supporting libraries in Penobscot County for most recently $15,000 of funding, which the libraries have used to put forth to help them fund a second day of band delivery service, which provides an excellent link from all of the public and academic and school libraries for interlibrary loan service throughout the state, so that anyone in Penobscot County can go to their local public library and actually check out a book from anywhere in Maine, any of the libraries in Maine. It's an exceptional service. And providing the van delivery service statewide is vastly cheaper than any library could do by mail. So this is a great connection. It also is a great way for the library community to be connected within each other, amongst themselves. So that is another benefit as well.
Any questions from the commission?
No, I think it has a great history, and it was presented to us over 10 years ago as a gap in the funding, so that these smaller libraries could get the same service and the same access to materials as any of the larger ones. And so what we're doing is really helping cover the cost of the transportation to all these small regional libraries. So it's been a great program, and certainly always supported it, and hopefully will continue to. You made a request, if you could just tell us where you see the increased cost or the need, that might be helpful.
Yeah, absolutely. So we are requesting a fairly significant increase. from 15,000 to 22,500. And that is a result of a request for proposal process that we had to do at the state library this year per state requirements. And that resulted in a courier service that is much more expensive than our prior one, which had been kept at a very low cost for a long time. So that is simply to cover the increased cost of this. We're still looking at helping to fund 11 libraries with this in Penobscot County. So it would fund exactly the same, it's just the service is more expensive now due to this.
So when you went out for proposals, there were no proposals close to what you were paying before?
All of the bids were much higher, and this one was not the lowest cost, but we thought for the service, I was involved in the RFP process, and it was a rigorous process. We had representatives from all types of libraries in the state on that evaluation committee, and we thought the increased service was worth the increased cost.
And what percentage of your budget is funded through the state? Is there any, or is this?
She is a state.
For the state library?
Mm-hmm.
She works with the state.
I understand that, but we're talking about delivery service here.
Right, yes.
So what percentage of that delivery service is funded through the state of Maine versus what you get from counties and localities?
Oh, I see. So the state, currently the state library funds one free day for every public library, including the Penobscot libraries.
1 day per week?
1 day per week
Okay.
of service, right. And so this is to fund a second day
Okay.
for the libraries. And again, this particularly helps the smaller libraries to raise up their level of service to be more equitable with larger libraries.
Okay. Any further questions? Seeing none? You all set, Commissioner Marshall, or you?
Already.
Okay.
My only notation is, as we go through these budgetary items, we see a 50% increase. That raises concerns because we see that replicated. We have a long budget process to go. But apparently these are not expansion of the program, but to meet the cost to maintain the program and service we now serve.
That's correct.
Okay, so as I understand it, what we're doing is we're covering some of the additional costs associated with the new RFP for the same level of service.
Correct, correct.
Okay.
I
And
move we approve.
So we have a motion to approve,
I'll second that.
have a motion and a second. Any further questions or discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? It is unanimous.
All right, thank you.
Thank you very much for
Thank you
joining
so
us today.
much.
Thank you for all what you do.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, at this point, is there a representative from the Orono Hazmat team? I do not see anyone online that is joining us. No? Okay. There is a 25% increase in their request. What is the
I
pleasure?
would move that we take it under advisement,
Okay.
get more information.
All right, so we have a request for further information. I have a motion to take this under advisement and a second. All those in favor? It is unanimous. At this point, the Bangor Area Recovery Network, do we have a representative present? We have several.
There we go.
Thank you for joining us. Good morning.
Good morning.
If you'd be kind enough to introduce yourselves, and maybe you'd like to share briefly what you are and offers for the year.
My name is Angela Walker, and I'm the
Angela, could I
peers.
ask you to pull that forward just a little bit? Yeah,
Floor is a lot closer.
Yes.
This is my first meeting here. so-
That's all right. Don't
You
be
hear me now?
There you go, yep,
How's that?
yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm Angela Walker, and I'm the peer service coordinator at the Bangor Area Recovery Network. And then,
My name's Catherine Colson. I am
Catherine, would you pull that in just a
sorry.
little bit closer? We have a huge viewing audience here.
my name is Catherine Colson. I am the volunteer coordinator at the park.
Great, thank you both for being here today.
I don't really,
So
know.
do you want to talk briefly about what the barn services offer to the
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
We are pretty much run by volunteers. We do have a 6-member staff that's there. We're open 7 days a week, 365 days a year. We service all of Penobscot County. We have a recovery coaching program that started 5 or 6 years ago that has really taken off and has branched off into a program. We're actually at the end of a 2-year grant for our recovery justice program, which I oversee the justice program there. Our services there are free to the public, to people that come in. Kathy does our volunteer program, so she can speak a little more to that.
So we currently have anywhere from 32 to, we currently have anywhere from 32 to 47 volunteers at any given time. And there are different types of volunteers. We have the volunteers that are there on a daily basis. They're on a set schedule, as many hours as they're able to provide. We also have special events volunteers that will come and help during our big events like the Lobster Mania, our event that we just had this past Saturday on the waterfront, the Recovery Palooza.
Which we had I think 1,400
in
attendance.
We're estimating, because it's kind of hard to get a number down there when there's that many people throughout the day. And then we also have just walk-in volunteers that are saying, I'm bored, I want to give back, what can I do to help?
Great, and you serve, as you said, a pretty wide region. You have people that come in from various communities that support your effort.
Yes.
And I believe you do interact with our corrections staff and help with those folks who are transitioning out of our facility, our care.
Yes, that was part of the recovery.
Part of the recovery justice program.
I've stopped by the barn several times, very impressed with your volunteers. You really do good work, and this is a good investment on the part of the county.
Yeah. Great. I'd move that we approve the request, which is flat funding for the Barnes efforts. And thank you.
Second.
So we have a motion to approve the current funding level again for the upcoming year's budget. I believe also we were, through the ARPA program, able to provide you with some resources for your work
that
over
was
there.
for the
That's yet to be worked out.
recovery justice program. Yeah.
Good.
We'll figure it out sometime.
Okay,
Yes.
great. Well, thank you again for being here and for the work that you do. We appreciate that and certainly know that the need, unfortunately, is ongoing. So
Yes.
with that, we have a motion, we have a second. Further discussion, seeing none. All those in favor? It is unanimous.
Thank you
Ladies,
so much. We appreciate
Nice
it.
job, thank you.
At this point, we have Pine Tree Hospice. Do we have a representative present? We do not. The funding request is for I believe a $750 increase $250 increase over last year's budget. What is the pleasure of the commission at this point?
They do a lot of good work that is basically they're very frugal with, they're mostly dependent on volunteers.
So we have a motion to either approve or take under advisement.
I think we should take this under advisement until we look a little bit closer.
Okay, I have a motion to take it under advisement.
Seconded.
Have a second. Further discussion? Seeing none. All those in favor? It is unanimous.
All right, thank you.
So next up would be Hirundo Wildlife Refuge, which
I assume, I think.
yes, good morning.
Is that my Zoom?
Yeah, Brian's got a letter in.
Good morning. If you would like to introduce yourself and share some background on your organization and the proposal. And I believe that you are still, can you hear us?
Stephanie, you're on.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't realize you were on.
That's
I was on. Yes,
Yeah.
I'm Stephanie LaRouche. I chair the Board of Trustees of the Arundel Wildlife Trust. And Arundel Arundel Wildlife Refuge is a 2,400 acre area of conserved land just off of Route 43 west of Old Town. And we offer opportunities for outdoor recreation and environmental education to the general public. The refuge trails are open dawn to dusk, 24/7, 365. And we also offer a paddling operation. There are a number of guided paddles. Also, summer Saturdays, we have free paddle gear rental and boats rental for the public with an advanced reservation. And we have numerous field trips for schools and day camps for kids. And we also run celebratory events for the public. So the reason for the increase, the request for the increase in support is because we've found that we've had to increase our staffing. Up and through 2023, we had 3 part-time staff members. And we realized that we needed to increase 2 of them to full-time in order to reasonably cover all that we offer for the public, because we just can't burn out our staff. And in addition to that, for the guided paddles, we're now running 2 paddle guides per outing for safety purposes, one of whom is a Maine master naturalist and paid, and the other is a volunteer. For the free boat rentals, we now have to pay a seasonal worker to hand out the boats to the public and make sure that they get off safely. And finally, and most importantly, for the field trips and the day camps, we're finding that we need another pair of hands in order to help our program director and the seasonal camp counselor. We find that while some of the kids are very happy to be outdoors, nowadays the kids spend so much time indoors on their electronic screens that some of them are just not comfortable being outside, and they're afraid of a lot of things like bugs and getting dirty. And in order for them to connect with nature, they need to feel comfortable, and therefore they have to have the attention that makes them feel secure. So we're planning on adding a summer intern to cover the camps in addition to the camp counselor and the program director next year.
Thank you. I guess, do we have any questions from the commission?
No. Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Last year, you requested a 50% increase in funding. I think we approved 20%. In that discussion, you indicated that a lot of the costs were incurred by field trips and camps for students from local school districts. At that time, we suggested you might want to reach out to those school districts who I think indicated they gave no support, financial support at the time.
No,
Has that changed?
No, we ask $8 per child from the schools for the field trips.
Sorry, what was that?
$8 per child.
So they, approximately how many students do you have come through during a cycle or a year?
We have 40 kids at a time, up to 40 kids at a time. And we probably run about 6 or 7 field trips.
Okay. So beyond the per child price, the school districts, how many districts do you generally serve for this program?
I'm not entirely sure. I think it's about 3.
Okay.
Other than that, we don't have any income coming from them.
Okay. Further questions?
I move we take this under advisement.
Okay, I have a motion to take this under advisement. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
I have a motion and a second. Thank you, Stephanie. We will update you as to when we will be finalizing this budget, but at this point,
Thank you for the opportunity to present.
I appreciate it. Have a good day.
Thank you.
You too.
Next item up is the Together Place. Do we have a representative? Yes, good morning.
Chair, if I could, did you
Yes.
actually vote?
I'm sorry, thank
Yeah,
you.
okay.
All those in favor? It is
Thank you.
unanimous.
Thank you.
Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you so much for the opportunity to be here. I'm so excited to return. As you might remember, the last time I was here, I had been on the job for all of 16 days, I believe. So I am thrilled to be here to tell you what your assistants helped us do in this past year. And I'm going to start with the celebratory things because it's pretty incredible.
For our vast viewing audience, would you introduce
I
yourself?
am so sorry. I did
That's
that
quite
last
all
year
right.
too, didn't I? I'm Amy Rader, and I am the Executive Director of Together Place Peer Run Recovery Center.
Thank you, Amy.
Thank you. The things that we've done in the past year have really sort of taken the foundation that former Executive Director Sean Fairclough started with the Creative Recovery Initiative, and really see how far we can bring it and how many people we can serve. Last year, right when I came on board, my first task was coordinating the Periscope writing contest, which invites writers with a mental health diagnosis or who self-identify as being in recovery from substance use disorder to share their creative writing, their nonfiction writing, their poetry writing with us. And the top three, we have a judge panel of three, and the top three vote getters win cash prizes. Our third place winner said this last year: "You have no idea what it means to me to be able to leave a legacy behind for my children and something to drive my recovery forward. I hope my poem gives hope to others who are going through their own battles." And that was particularly meaningful for me. This particular person brought her family, brought her friends, brought her support system, was looking forward to hopefully being able to bring her entire sober living house there, because that's how important it was, to show that our members are not just people in recovery, they're creative people, they're enterprising people, they're people with a drive to succeed. And one thing I also want to highlight is our member to volunteer to staff member pipeline. We've had quite a lot of turnover in the best of possible ways at Together Place. I'm currently on my third admin assistant because they keep going on to incredible jobs, such as working at the barn as a recovery coach leader. We have a young member named Jessica who has been the star volunteer for the past couple of years and has shared this with us as we supported her through her recovery coach training. "I've been a member of Together Place for 5 years. My experiences working with the members and with the staff has helped me grow into who I am today. Then the help of recovery groups and maintaining sobriety 4 years, 8 months has empowered me to make better choices. I've been a volunteer in Together Place's 2nd Street Diner, which has taught me a lot more involving being in the diner. I now help manage the diner. I then was encouraged by my supporters to take recovery coach training to be a recovery coach, which I've now completed and am certified in." That was all within the last year. This particular individual also was instrumental in our work with the MHAF, Maine Health Access Foundation. She helped to bring our members' concerns forward when we were talking about our grants. We also had a wonderful Thanksgiving meal where we saw our center completely packed to capacity, and we served food that our members helped prepare. And we brought in and welcomed people that our certified intentional peer support specialists engaged on the streets. Now is when we're swinging into our busiest time. But I'm also gratified by the fact that while we are bringing increasing numbers of people into our center, we're also going out into the community and participated in the art walk in the summer, which was very lovely for our members. I'll share some numbers because I know that data is very important when we're looking at budgets. So for the year July 1st, 2023 to July 1st, 2024, we offered 438 individual group sessions. The number of unduplicated individuals we served was 472. And keep in mind that many, if not most of those 472 people kept coming back. And that's what matters to me. If somebody walks through the door once, that's wonderful. If they keep coming back, that's even better. And the number of members we had as of Friday, September 20th was 357. There's no barrier to entry for our members.
Those were mentors?
Pardon me?
Did you say 357?
357 individual members. And we like to support our members when they have ambitions outside of Together Place, whether that means taking that recovery coaching and having one of our certified intentional peer support specialists coach them through that as well. We're very proud of the partnerships we have as well. I'm beyond honored to be sitting here after listening to the wonderful organizations that presented before us. We are very, very excited to be able to be here. We're thrilled to be in a community as caring as Bangor and Penobscot County.
Thank you. Questions from the commission? Okay, so the request, as I understand it, is for $15,000 this year, which is a 50% increase over last year's allocation.
And we would be grateful for anything. I should be very clear about that. Thank you.
Okay.
I mean, I think the challenge we have is that all the budgets of our departments have increased significantly. And so it is challenging, but we've been supportive of the Together Place through ARPA and also in our budget. But there's a limit to what we can do for increases, but I don't know what the feeling of the board is, but we're certainly supportive.
Certainly. Is this something we have a motion to either approve in some format or take under advisement?
I think we should take it under advisement. We work this out, we get a better view of what our budget is.
I mean, I'm very supportive of it staying in the budget, it's just the amount of it.
Yes.
So I would second that.
So we have a motion and a second to take this item under advisement. We appreciate your coming and sharing the details and the letter that you sent us as well. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
At this point, all those in favor? If there's nothing further, it is unanimous. Thank you, Amy. Have a good day.
The Chair, we do have an additional item that is not on the agenda. It's the Maine Discovery Museum, the new
It's on our
request.
list.
It is on the list, it's just,
Right.
yeah, okay. So I believe Kate is here. If you'd like to come forward, Kate. Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning, gents. How are you?
Would you be kind enough to introduce yourself to our vast viewing audience?
You bet.
Share what you
Yeah, you're not
have.
afraid of the microphone.
I'm not afraid of the microphone. Advantages of being middle-aged. My name is Kate Dickerson. I'm the executive director of the Maine Discovery Museum, and I believe I have an ask to you, a first-time ask from the museum for $10,000 for our STEM outreach program. I could spend
I show it as 9,000.
9,000.
Yeah.
9,000?
Yeah.
That's fine.
Okay.
I've been writing a lot of grants lately, so
Nice
it's
try.
all mixing up.
Yeah,
So
nice
close, so
try.
close. Rather than spend the next couple of hours extolling the virtues of what we do, which I will happily do with any one of you, if you want to get a cup of coffee, I'll just give you a quick broad overview.
Okay.
We serve 60,000 people within the doors of our museum every year, and then we serve another 15,000 people outside of the museum. Of those 15,000, a large part of that is from the Maine Discovery Museum, but a significantly large part of that and growing is our outreach program for STEM, so science, technology, engineering, and math. Which we have put under the label of Science Around Me, which I thought was clever. I wish I came up with it, but I didn't. But I have really great people on my team who came up with that. What we do with that program, it is entirely grant funded, with the exception of a few schools who hire our educators to come to give science enrichment programs. But what we do is we go out to the communities. We focus as much as we can on rural and underserved communities, and introduce them to kind of the wonders of science that they may have heard about in their classroom, but they haven't really actually been able to capitalize on for all sorts of reasons. Just as an example, this summer we had a grant from the Franklin Institute it's called GSK Science in the Summer. We were one of the original museums they funded. This program has been going on for years and years and years. They reached out to us. We reached over 1,000 kids this summer. We put 4,000 miles on our van to reach those kids. The hardest thing we have is trying to get to the parts of our county in particular that we would like to reach to, but we don't have the capacity. So that's where this ask comes from. The $9,000 is a sliver of the $115,000 budget, which is actually probably a lot closer to $150,000 to do this program. And one of the things that I'm trying to do and have been trying to do for the last 2 years that I've been in this role is to try to help people recognize that we are providing this really, I think, important service to the community. And we do it, for the most part, at no charge to the people that we're serving because we're so heavily reliant on grants to make it happen. And that is, again, because they're underserved and don't have the capacity to pay us. 94% of our outreach is available at no charge to the people we give it to. That does not mean it is free. As my theater kid daughter liked to say to me, free to, what is she? Oh, I'm gonna totally mess this up. Free to see, not free to produce. And we are getting stretched thin. So this is my ask to you. 20% of museums around the country, as an average, get some type of government support. We get none. If you look at our entire budget, the $9,000 is significantly less than, actually percentages, I will say, is like the worst part of my maths. But it's pretty small. I'm trying to build up a way to get some funding to support the work that we're doing that I believe is good for the state.
Thank you. Any questions from the commission?
Well, it's a great program. It is a great program.
Thanks.
And it deals with a deficiency in education as to science and math being taught well in the schools. So what you're doing is great, and I think it'd be good for us to do something to help. What we can do is what we have to figure out.
Can you share with us approximately how many schools that you're able to take this program to on an annual basis?
So it's not just schools, it's also community groups.
Okay.
Fully funded, we would probably go to a school or a community group every week, so up to 40 or 50.
But what are you currently?
We're currently doing, if you count the summertime, which we do, I'm trying to remember the exact sites that they hit with the grant. I want to say we hit 30 to 40 different sites.
In Penobscot County?
No, that's everywhere. So in Penobscot County, we're lacking where we go. And I would like to get support from Penobscot County so we can start building in specific visits to the schools and the contacts we have within the county.
And the schools do provide some funding to you, or they do not?
It depends. Sometimes schools will hire our educators because we've been able to show them the value and the importance of it, but they're equally strapped for a lot of this. So one of the reasons we work with community groups is that we can leverage their resources as well. And sometimes it's really hard to get into a classroom during the school day, so we'll do after-school programs, or we actually do a ton of work with libraries around the state and partner with them.
So some of the after-school programs, is that how I understand that you?
If we could, yeah. I mean, you know, the advantage of trying to cobble this together with all sorts of grants is that we then try to have different ways to reach the audiences depending on what the grant is.
Yeah. So you get business support and other grants.
It's mostly other grants right now. Business support are all of my meetings next week if I do it right.
There was only an agency that served a number of counties that was in the room right now that could talk to you about any collaborative work.
Oh, they exist? That would be really great. I'd
Yeah.
love to talk to them.
Have you ever met a guy named Lee Humphrey?
Oh, Lee, yeah, we know way back. He knows about this program.
All right. At this point,
I'll move we take it under advisement.
Okay.
We'll have an overall look at the budget and try to do what we can.
have a motion and a second to take this under advisement. Further discussion? Seeing none. All those in favor? It is unanimous. Thank you for being here today. Thank you for the work that you're doing.
Thank you. I appreciate you taking under advisement and the opportunity to share a little bit about what we do. Thanks for your work for the county.
Yeah, how is the HVAC project coming?
The HVAC, the bid we got was for twice as much as what the grant covers. So we're working with them on how to make that not be so big.
Okay, great.
Thanks for asking.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, as my schedule looks, we have completed item G, Department 34.
Yep.
Do we want to take this under advisement as a whole?
Well, you've got individual decisions there, so, yeah, I think we move forward with as is.
So we don't need any further motion on Department 34. On Department 35, I believe we have representatives from County Extension. Thank you for being with us this morning, ladies. If you would join us up here. Pull those nice little mics up so everyone can hear you and you'd be kind enough to introduce yourself to the vast county viewing audience here.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I am Teresa Tilton. I'm an Administrative Support Supervisor for the Humane Cooperative Extension here in Penobscot County. And this is our newest position within Cooperative Extension located in Libby Hall. Oh, no, they've moved.
Okay.
We can't say Libby Hall anymore. They're in Estabrook, which is throwing us all off. But this is Carrie Chastain. She is our Executive Director of Extension Operations. Carrie's position is going to be working with all the counties statewide, and this is her first opportunity to sit in to see what a commissioners meeting is like, because she will be possibly doing this in the future.
Great.
So
and we're
she's-
generally viewed as the nicest county in the state.
She's heard that.
I have heard that. I have heard that. Good morning.
This year, we are asking for a 4% increase. Of course, it's because of salaries and just the overall cost, everything's going up. That does equal to just over $3,800, I believe, we are asking for. Some of the work that we've done this year, our home horticulture program has had 933 participants. 775 of those have been to our demonstration garden up to Rogers Farm. We're expecting another 200 participants to be at the farm before the end of the year. We've reached 751 gardeners. We have supported 10 schools with their community garden projects. We have had a farm-to-table summer camp that only allowed 13 students. That was 3 more than last year for 9 to 12-year-olds. But they come to the camp every day for an 8-hour experience, and they plant, they grow, they learn how to use the plants to dye material, they make lunches from the garden, so it's all farm to table, it's just what it says. We have had 450 landscape and gardening questions come through. We have had on demand for monthly gardening newsletters, how-to videos, and bulletins for gardening. And there's been 3 in-depth online training programs for apprentices, volunteers, and home gardeners through the Master Gardener program. Youth this year, for 4-H, we have 77 youth, 22 volunteers, and 9 clubs. We started a partnership with Bangor Public Library this year where we offered a 6-week program, and it was come as you wish. So if you didn't want to make a commitment to be there every week, you didn't have to be. And I believe that was online or in person. So if travel or parents working, maybe they were at a daycare type thing or at grandma's house and they couldn't get there, they could join by the Zoom program as well. And then our food preservation system, this person had a split appointment, which was with home horticulture and food preservation. That has changed to 100% food preservation, midsummer, I would say. So that has allowed her to do 263 hands-on food preservation workshops with people in our community. She's had 17 volunteers for the Cookings for Crowd program. She's also does pressure dial gauge testing, so everyone knows that comes in and has this tested, they know their canner's working properly to do preservation. She has been in collaboration with a local program that works with disabled adults and done 36 different participants have been coming in at least once a month to do preservation, learn how to can gardening goods and so forth. She's done outreach on food preservation through Facebook Live, and she's had 75 different questions come in over the phone for food preservation. And sometimes those can be a little intense, because they call and they say, I'm doing this right now, how do I do this? So, and if she's not in the office and not available, we do have a program with an extension, so we can blast an email out that says, hey, this person's panicking, and usually somebody can get back to them rather quick.
So it's kind of like 911 for food issues.
It is.
We're looking for some more 911 operators, so we'd certainly be happy to talk to you.
I'll think about that.
On your farm-to-table summer camps, how many of those, is there more than one?
There isn't. Right now, they're offering it once a year.
And you went from 10 last year to 10 the previous year to 13 this year?
We did.
What does that entail? What does that summer camp entail? as far as students are concerned?
I believe Kate, our horticulturalist, has a school garden network email group that she is involved with, where she works with the school gardens throughout the year anyway. And that email blast goes out to all of them when that summer camp opens. So it's kind of a first come, first serve. If we have somebody that is interested, we do put them on a wait list. And I believe she did the wait list first this year, just to kind of give them a chance where they couldn't get in the first year. Waited a day, and then the big email blast goes out where it is a first come, first serve.
We have a little garden community up in Millinocket, and it's good to see the kids involved in that, I've seen the kids over the years. It's a good program, and I just wonder how many camps are involved and how many students are involved. Should be answered that. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Further questions? Seeing none, I will entertain a motion regarding Department 35 of County Extension.
Move we approve.
I'll second that.
Have a motion and a second to approve. Further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? It is unanimous. Thank you for being here, ladies. Welcome.
Thank you.
Okay. Department 30, our old friend Lee Humphrey. Would you like to join us up front to talk about EMDC?
Come on down.
Department 30.
Good morning, Lee.
Good morning. Good morning, Commissioners.
Welcome.
Thank you. Nice to see you. Lee Humphrey, President, Eastern Maine Development Corporation, and sent you a detailed letter of all the programs we do. But I want to kind of point out a couple of things that's happening that is under the radar, but has a big impact. A lot of the municipalities don't have the capacity to do certain things, and so we're helping them with technology, access to broadband, and just helping to build their capacity. And we do that an awful lot. And the other thing we've been trying to do in the last couple of years especially is to reach out to the smaller towns. We just finished with Enfield and Howland and some of the other towns comprehensive plans through our planning department. And then in a bigger way, helping organizations and communities access other funds. A lot of the congressional discretionary spending applications, we helped. We vetted them and we helped build them. And a lot of the success these folks have been having about receiving federal funds has been with our assistance, which we're not on the marquee for doing it, but it's stuff I think is the value added that we bring as an organization. And it's one of the ways that the investment from Penobscot County really is valuable to us. We're able to do some of this other stuff to help communities and people in the region. Along with that, a lot of the federal grants, all of the federal grants require matching funds. And with your investment, we're able to have that amount as a matching fund. And that's really crucial. There's been a few times where we haven't applied for something because we don't have enough matching funds to put up. Besides the logistics of that and the importance of that, the message it sends to the state and the feds and foundations that we have a partnership with a county, our home county, Penobscot County, is really good. And I think we do workforce in 10 counties, and I'd have to say by far this county is the best, and Galen does a wonderful job with workforce. But the kind of investments that you guys do all the time, and you saw it this morning, and a lot of these groups we work with all the time, helping them in not only access funds, but how to leverage and where to get the funds, but how to make a community impact. But what you guys have done with ARPA funds and just your regular budget is really crucial in building the fabric of our region. And you see it from all the way up to Patton to down here in Brewer and other places. So Penobscot County, I think we really value our partnership and appreciate your ongoing support.
Lee, you've been helping Millinocket and Lincoln on the brownfield sites.
Yes.
And by getting grants. How is that going?
It's going extraordinary. And one of the challenges we've had is a lot of the focal points for our region, Lincoln, East Millinocket, Millinocket are the big mills in Old Town. And we're helping them quite a bit, but also making sure the smaller communities don't feel left behind. But these brownfield funds, and we were just the recipient of an additional $3 million from EPA, are essential in rebuilding these places and cleaning them up. The aquaculture project that's going up in Millinocket is moving faster because of our brownfield investment there and the cleanup. Lincoln the same way, and I think Lincoln was part of a regional Department of Energy project that we were in that proposal as the community intervener, and that battery project. So that's going to be a significant thing. And one of the things we're also working on is trying to build the relationship between Millinocket, East Millinocket, and Lincoln, and we're developing with some other folks a foreign trade zone that can help each one of them as they grow. But the brownfield projects is a kind of a under the radar because it's not that fancy, but it's so important. And it's made a big difference in our region. And there's a lot of environmental issues that need to be fixed before economic development can happen.
Lee, I want to, obviously, impact in our region is important, and the brownfield project is very good. But I also want to commend you on the workforce development project. That is, you've done very, very good work here in both these projects, and I want to commend you on that.
Thank you. A big issue is trying to convince people about jobs of the future. And so some of these green jobs coming, either solar, wind, biofuel, they're not there yet, but we're helping people understand to get some training through the community college and other places to be ready, to be prepared. And another big focus we're having is youth development. And we're really trying to get young people engaged at an earlier age to choose a career. And what our workforce program does is identify the skills and the interests of young people and match them to where the opportunities are. At the same time, we're working with businesses all the time to have them more interested in providing training in the right environment and to pay the right amount, but also to be a little more receptive to people who are different. We work at the barn closely in the Together place, but a lot of businesses are leery to hire somebody who may have been recently incarcerated or have some substance abuse. So we're working constantly with businesses trying to help them be more receptive. And all it takes is some successful workers at a different business and have that business owner say how great that was. In a similar vein, diversity with new Mainers coming, we're helping a lot of businesses be more welcoming and accepting of people who are not from here. So there's a lot of stuff we do under the radar.
Folks from Portland?
Yeah, that's right. But that's why your investment's really important for us. It helps us do all these other things besides running the programs in lending or business development, workforce development, and all the other things. But that other value added is huge. And I was in two meetings in the last 2 weeks, EDA and with Washington folks, and they asked about county involvement. And then a month ago, I was in Freeport with Secretary Buttigieg and talking about the relationship between organizations like EMDC and government. And he was focused on state government, but I also added county government as part of that mix. And a guy from Illinois in Cook County, he knew exactly, it resonated with him, so he's a county guy. So I just want to tell everybody how much I appreciate everything you've done, and I think, Peter, this may be the last time I sit in front of you as a county commissioner, so Peter and I have been friends for a long time, but as a county commissioner, you've been great, and I really appreciate the work you've done. And you used to be overshadowed by Tom Davis, but I think you kept him in line more than anybody ever could. But I just want to thank you on behalf of everyone for everything you've done.
Very kind. Hopefully we'll see you again in future life.
Well, I'm hoping you're one of those guys who retire and then get busier, which I seem to have.
Looking for that.
It'll be on the golf course.
Yeah, that's right.
Thank you, Lee.
Yeah.
Very good.
So Lee, are you familiar with the Greenfield Environmental Trust that's overseeing the funding from the Mallinckrodt?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are those funds something, I know there's a smaller portion of Penobscot that is impacted by the river, but I know in discussions with Hamden, they are having some challenges with the natural evolution of the sediment along the Turtlehead Marina.
Right.
Whether there's been any discussions with them about funds that might be available for communities and.
Only cursory discussions, and they know we're available to help. There's too many people involved right now, so we're kind of letting the dust settle a little bit. But what we try to do with communities like that and some other places and let them know we're the resource, and trying to get people to come to us before the 11th hour so we can maybe help earlier on. But it's something on our radar, and we're available.
Two other items, as you have probably noticed from the news, we worked with 10 towns up in the Howland area on a collaborative effort for a fire district.
Yes.
One of the first, if not the first in the state, at least the first in Penobscot County. We are seeing other counties that are stepping up. Aroostook's talking about code enforcement. Cumberland has been doing assessing in the last year. York hired a fire chief. I think those discussions become even more pertinent, and I certainly hope that we can count on you to be partners as we continue this discussion. I think we used to have a PD cog. I don't know where that stands now, if there's an opportunity to revitalize that or not.
Yeah, we created, that left about 10, 12 years ago, but we created a regional planning commission to do exactly that, to promote collaboration and to create consortiums among different towns. And that's been, for the last year, been in place. Our planner, Jen King, is the director of that. We've got community members part of it. But the whole point is, how can we encourage different towns to work together, save money, and have better services? And I think through the work we're doing with all the other things with broadband, climate resiliency, and others, we're really encouraging different towns, especially the smaller ones, to work together. So we endorse that model completely, and we'll support it through the Regional Planning Commission.
Well, stay tuned, because I think we are on a trajectory to offer other opportunities when fire and emergency services are willing to work. We're not interested in the county taking these over.
Right.
But we are interested in working, as we did with Chief McNally in Howland and the team of community members that came together. We provided some legal support to that, and contracted with Paul Froman, who I don't know if you've met Paul or where, but we brought him in on a contract and hope to continue those discussions with agencies that wish to participate. I know Commissioner Marshall's had some talks in the Millinocket area about their desire to maybe do some more collaborative activities up there.
Yeah, it's great. I think the more we collaborate at the community level, the better. And it's important for the county to kind of be the fence around all this stuff. So it's a great model.
And the last issue for me on my list at this point is the concern about the fractuousness in the waste disposal field. Right now, we're getting numerous communications regarding the incinerator facility that's located in Orrington. That affects many of our towns. The inability of the fiber right facility to operate has caused some great concerns among town members that I've talked with.
Right.
And I hope if there's any place that EMDC can help in brokering that deal. I know it's a sticky wicket, but.
Well, we haven't avoided it. Our people on our team have had meetings with folks, and again, we're trying to be part of the solution. So we're involved, and we'll get engaged however people want us to.
We made a commitment to the town of Orrington to help them purchase that baler to resolve a problem short-term and long-term at the facility. There was a considerable delay in getting that, and it's my understanding that the permitting has not been as smooth as it was predicted to be, and I think that anything that might be done to advocate on behalf of the towns in Penobscot County to get that up and running again, as opposed to continuing to dump raw municipal waste into a landfill that's already seeking an expanded permit is appropriate. I am since my time in the legislature, been stunned at the inability of some of these agencies to follow what was a long-term policy of reducing, recycling, and reusing.
Right.
So,
Well, that's part of what we can do as an organization is, don't tell them this, but we actually hold state government accountable.
Okay.
But we just make sure the system works the way it should work, and the people are being served the way they should be served. And we are constantly on every state agency talking to them and reminding them that not only about deadlines, but scope of work and expectations, so we can.
I'm sure the sheriff and the corrections department would be delighted to talk to you too about some of our concerns with the different departments that sometimes don't interact well with us.
Yeah, it's state government's a monstrosity, and one of the things that we try to do as an organization is to create the bridges between the different departments and also to streamline systems. But it's the bureaucracy is big, but that's part of what we do as an organization.
Well, we would appreciate any help that could be provided. Do we have anything else?
No.
At this point, we have what I believe is a request of the same nature as last year, $63,000 from the county funds and an additional $2,000 for PILT for a total of $65,000.
I'd move to approve those appropriations as requested.
Second.
Have a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none. All those in favor? Thank you for
Okay,
being here.
thank you.
Thank you for your offer to help.
You bet.
Thanks, sir.
Okay. At this point, Department 36, do we have somebody present? Hey, there we go.
Hello.
Ta-da.
From Penquist. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you.
Okay.
I am very glad to be here today. Good morning. My name is Karen Sichters. I am the Associate Development Director for Penquist, and I think this is 7 for me, so this is my first meeting.
Okay.
I want to first begin by expressing my sincere gratitude for letting me be here today and speak with you. Kara also sends her apologies. She is very grateful for all the work that you have done with her, and she wishes she could be here. As some of you may know, she is off fighting the fight to keep transportation here in the state of Maine. So it is something that we are very passionate about and very concerned for our residents and our communities. So this year we're presenting a flat ask. We're requesting the same level of support as last year. This decision was made deliberately. We recognize that there are many demands on the county resources, everything that I've been hearing today. We want to be respectful and considerate of your budget constraints, while also seeking the support that allows us to make a meaningful impact in the community that we live, work, and care so much about. I'd like to take a moment just to remind you of one of our main drivers of our mission, which is enhancing economic stabilities in the counties that we serve. Nowhere is that mission more crucial than here in Penobscot County. As outlined in the letter that we shared, we have made significant investments this past year to promote economic stability, and we are deeply committed to continuing that work. I briefly mentioned transportation, which we are passionately advocating to preserve. This critical service is at risk, and we really need your partnership in the fight to preserve it. We are hosting some regional forums in the coming weeks. I've got some flyers here for you. We would love to have everybody here participate. I will share these. We would be very honored to have your participation. In addition to transportation, we have made tremendous strides in affordable housing throughout Penobscot County. Your generous support, including ARPA funds, has been instrumental in making projects like Teresa's Place, Milford Place, Millinocket Manor, and the housing development in Howland a reality. So these initiatives are ongoing and will provide lasting benefits, offering Penobscot residents access to much needed affordable housing. Penquist offers a vast array of programs that improve people's lives daily. And I would love to delve in and spend hours telling you about all of them, but in the effort of time, I am actually just going to highlight one of our programs, which is a Substance Affected Youth, or our SAY program. This initiative supports young people who have been impacted by somebody else's opioid use. I'd like to share Heidi's story with you. Heidi was referred to our program at just 13 years old after she was caught vaping cannabis in her middle school bathroom, which personally is horrifying to me as my children were just in middle school. It seems like yesterday, although it was like 5 years ago. After finding her father deceased in her home from an opioid overdose and her mother incarcerated from substance abuse, she was being raised by her grandparents, and she was in a really difficult place. She was referred to the SAY program, and there she found a lifeline. Our team provided her and 64 other students this past year with invaluable training and support through group trainings, activities, and events. Heidi not only excelled in the program, but she also emerged as a peer leader. Her growth culminated in speaking at the Governor's Opioid Response Summit, where she shared her personal story with everybody. In her words, "Before meeting the SAY team, I was in a very dark place. I was vaping and smoking weed every day. I had basically given up on life, but now I know that I'm not alone." Heidi's now an active volunteer and organizing SAY activity group at her new high school. Her transformation is just one example of the incredible work that your support makes possible. So I want to thank you for the continued partnership, for believing in the mission of Penquist. Together, we are creating lasting change in our community. And I've got the flyers, and I would be grateful if you could just share them, pass them on, join us, anything. And do you have any questions?
Well, first, a long history with Penquist, and the county has a long history with Penquist, a community action agency that was founded in the War on Poverty many, many years ago. And the work that you do is invaluable. And we're very lucky to have in the county seat, having an organization like Penquist that does so much for the entire region. So we're very, I think, very proud to support what you do. And Cara is a very charismatic leader and has been effective, I think, in lobbying for issues in the legislature and nationally to bring attention. So, and the housing is, you know, I had the good fortune to serve on the board with Steve when Steve Moores was head of housing.
Oh, nice.
And he was the one who had the vision to say we need to do more than just have grants. We should have our own housing business that brings in profit and support for the agency. And he had the vision to do that, which gave more sustaining support to Penquist's bottom line. He had a business approach to it, but provided housing all over this county and into other counties. So again, you have a great history, and good luck to you with Penquist, and it's very reasonable for asking for flat funding, and appreciate the challenges that we face. So very supportive of what you do.
Thank you.
And I will say that 25 years ago, Penquist was getting $30,000 a year. And it was Penquist that came up and said, we're getting revenue that we don't need, and they voluntarily said you can reduce the request. Believe it or not, we never heard that, but they were, because of the revenue from the riding program and other things, they said, you know, and we were, I would say almost 20 years ago, we were providing $30,000 a year. And we're slowly, 25 years later, still less than that, but you do great work, and thank you.
And I would like to point out, it was, I believe, Kathy Walker, who served on your board, that brought that to the commission's attention. And we appreciate the frugality, we appreciate the work you do. And our sheriff is at no means taking umbrage that you used the Kennebec Sheriff's Officer on the front page of your report.
I knew you would let that go.
I will let them know.
Yeah, that's
it's a picture, I believe, from the Special Olympics up at the University of Maine. It's a great picture here showing the connectivity between many members of law enforcement and some of the work you do, so we appreciate that as well. But I couldn't let that go with
Could airbrush that, you know?
Yeah.
I'll be talking to them later.
Okay, take a picture. Okay.
Yeah, the non-emergency Medicare transportation issue that's currently being litigated, I think the decision somewhere in December.
Yes.
In December. That is incredibly important, because that's the economic underpinning to do a lot of the very programs that we're addressed today.
Yeah.
So I would encourage everyone to be aware and support Penquist's effort in this regard.
Would you like to briefly tell us the locations for those hearings so that we have them on our?
I would love to. So we have, they're all on Zoom, which is very convenient. They start on Tuesday, October 15th. It's Wednesday the 16th, Thursday the 17th. So they're multiple days, 9 to 10:30, and then 6 to 7:30 p.m. The Northern Maine is the first one, which is Aroostook, Piscataquis, Penobscot, Somerset, and Washington, which is the 15th. Central Maine is Hancock, Franklin, Kennebec, Knox, Lincoln, and Waldo, which is Wednesday the 16th. Southern Maine is Androscoggin, Cumberland, Oxford, Saginaw. I'm obviously not from Maine.
Oh, you gave it
Sorry.
away on Kennebec, but that's okay.
And York, and that one's Thursday the 17th. And then Tuesday the 15th and Thursday the 17th, any Maine region. You can find information about this on our Facebook page. It's being brought by the Moving Maine Network, and there are partners from AARP to the Maine Council of Aging, Transit, Disability Rights, just a ton of partners that are really seeking information. They want people there who have had any sort of experience to just get their voice out so that people can know what's going on.
It's a terrible, terrible road that the state has chosen to go down, but this is not the first time.
No.
This was an effort in the prior governor's administration to do the same thing to the same agency in Connecticut to take away this project, and it was a major effort to get that reversed. And it's amazing that they're not looking at the history. They've been down this road before. And to have a Connecticut company who's not familiar with Maine, doesn't have dispatchers here that are trained, to come in and do such an essential service is amazing. But we were down this road before. I was on the board of Penquist at the time when they were trying to award it to the same company. And it got overturned eventually that they didn't even follow the bid process at the time, and it got reversed. But I hope we have the same result. It's just amazing that they don't know the history and that the state is not looking at what's best for the state of Maine, let alone our county. So, good luck.
Thank you. With that, do we have a motion regarding Department 36 budget proposal? Have a motion to approve, have a second. I appreciate your being here. Thank you. All those in favor? It is unanimous.
Thank you very much,
Okay.
Commissioners.
Thank you.
Okay, at this point, we will invite the sheriff and his team to join us up front for their presentation. Department 12, the Sheriff's Department, and Department 21, the jail cap, Department 9, the jail, and Department 13, civil. Coming all on your own, huh? All on your own. Oh, looks like your team is gonna back you up.
Pull a chair up, snuggle up, gentlemen. You want to come up here? I'll let you sit there.
Okay, good morning, Sheriff.
Morning, Chief.
Good morning, Chief. Good morning, Captain. Good morning, Lieutenant Perry.
Where would you like to start? We got a lot to go over today, the vehicle bid piece.
I think that might be appropriate since you've done your due diligence on that.
Get the easy one out of the way. Yep.
At this point, what do you have to share with us regarding the bids that we received?
Absolutely. Good morning, Commissioners. First, again, I'll do this as I did last week. I want to thank and commend Vanessa Holmes and Keith Helen. They've officially retired. They meant a lot to our agency, helped us through this process again this year, but I just want to say that again, that they're a great asset to the department. They'll be greatly missed.
I'm sorry that I was out of town, was not able to be there to thank them for their many years of incredible service.
Thank you.
I'm sure it's a bigger hole than you would like to be dealing with right now.
We're doing well. They've taught us well. Vehicle bids, so we put out the proposal that went out to RFP. As you know, we looked at 12 vehicles, up to 12 vehicles. We came back with the bids in front of you from Varney, Quirk Ford, and then Colonial, who is the out-of-state firm. We looked at the prices. The two local bidders, both here in Maine, are kind of what we suspected. They put in their pricing, but they do not have 2024s on the lot, do not have those available to them. So we did ask what those cost increases could be, and you can see do you have the notes on that? Did you?
I believe we've got that.
It
Whoops, let me get mine.
should be under the back end of the sheriff tab on your meeting binder.
Yep.
Yeah. Page looks like this.
There you go. Yep.
So those prices look like they would go up, $3,000 to $5,000 if we had to go and take on the 25 bids, and then we have to actually put into a bid that have to be designed on and on and on. So $3,000 to $5,000 a vehicle. I just think that we ought to go with Colonial at this point. They're on the.
They have the vehicles on lot, and I know the last 3 or 4 years you had challenges, even though locally they tried very hard to help you, that just was not the inventory available, as I remember.
That's correct. And the other thing to note here is that these are white, so I don't know if you remember, we had the issue about whether we'd have to paint or do that. We don't have to do any of that. So we'll do normally what we do with the striping, and that will also save us some issues.
Sheriff, if you could explain for our benefit, what you're showing on this summary is Quirk Ford of Augusta was the low bid. They actually bid $624,552 for 12 vehicles. So what are they saying as to what they have? It doesn't tell us that how many on lot,
They have 0. They don't have any vehicles.
but they bid $624,000 to provide 12 vehicles from the 2025.
No.
But that doesn't include.
So I just want to understand.
I don't know why they did that, Commissioner. That's why I called Leo himself and said, why did you provide us bids on cars that you can't even provide?
So what was their response?
Their response is, we would have to put you into the pool and get the 2025 pricing, which would be $3,000 to $5,000 more.
So they really did not meet the specifications of the RFP.
Not at all. They didn't have them in stock. I thought they may have 1 or 2 when we could go that route. Yes, none.
Because I think in the past, they had a vehicle that you were able to acquire that had been turned into.
We bought off the lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's subject to a price increase it's not even aware of yet.
Sometimes, at the end of the year, and this is something maybe we can evaluate later, is like one of the cars that we bought, somebody didn't end up taking that car. And so they called us. We have that relationship with Leo, kind of last minute to get one of those off the lot. We would continue to do that if it came forward. But as of last week, when I called, I personally talked to Leo myself, they do not have any vehicles. They would put us into the bid process, not the bid process, but the ordering process.
Right.
It would be $3,000 to $5,000 more per vehicle.
All right, well, that's important to note, because I'm not thrilled that we're sending 600,000 plus to Massachusetts when we have large dealers locally that pay county taxes.
Yeah.
So it's important to
Just to be clear, though, we do our service on these vehicles with local dealerships wherever possible.
That's true, yeah, I mean, it does, but I'm with you, Commissioner. We would stay with our local vendors forever if they would just simply provide the vehicle. We're not the only one facing that. If you look across our state, most law enforcement agencies are actually going out to this company and one other one in Massachusetts.
And
it's a shame.
Very appreciative of what they've done in the past to try to fulfill that. But I've frankly been told by some auto dealers they would prefer to have the service over the sale of some of these type of vehicles because of
the other part is it doesn't affect this right here, but we're still buying civil vehicles because we're buying those off the lot locally. We're hoping if it now looks like maybe vans are available, we're in the need for the transport van. I'm sure that's something we're going to get local. I'm with you, Commissioner. I wish they were all local. It's just
I know, it wasn't clear from the summary sheet why the low bid wasn't the best bid. So that's what I wanted to.
That's why we
record.
were surprised, and we were surprised at the fact that, why did you bid this price? If you should have just said, we don't have the vehicle.
Exactly.
We don't have the 2024
That's why-
vehicle, and
Okay.
we don't have one on the
Glad
lot.
you clarified.
Yeah. So our recommendation is to go with Colonial. I know we'll discuss this in the budget, but commissioners, I will tell you, we spent a lot of time, and this is a lot of years of studying our fleet and understanding how we can get the most out of every car. When it comes off the road, it might be able to go into a support service role for a short period of time, so we can get every inch out of those cars that we can. And in doing so, we were able to reduce this year's ask from 12 to 11. So, and that's in my budget.
Okay.
So we're gonna save there too.
Okay. Does that take into account some of the community requests that?
It does, yeah. I will say, it's cutting us a little bit close, but I feel comfortable. I think it's the right thing to do. What I do feel good about is, and don't dare to say it, right? We're having good luck with the Tahoes mechanically. And so when I know that we're not gonna be broken down cars and worried about having an extra spare, available, that takes some of the pressure off us.
Yeah. Okay, so at this point for the RFP, do I have a motion?
I move we accept the bid by Colonial Municipal for $645,427.
From Colonial Municipal Group. I'll second that.
And that's up to 12 or?
11.
11.
And we actually put it in our budget. We'll reduce it by the 1.
Okay, so that would, the 645 is for the 11?
No, that's for 12.
No, that's the 12.
It's the 53,786 per vehicle.
Okay.
For 11, whatever the new number.
I just don't want to put it sideways if, are we saying we're approving the purchase of up to 12?
No, we're not. We're saying
Okay.
we're approving 11 based on a request of the sheriff.
Right.
Okay.
11 at that price, and if there's any substantial difference or difference at all, that needs to come back.
Okay.
We're buying 11 of the 12.
Okay.
The 53,786.
All right, so we have a motion to acquire 11 Tahoes from Colonial Municipal Group at a price of $53,786. Is that what you gentlemen intend? Second? Okay, all those in favor? Done.
All right, thank you.
Thank you very much, commissioners. We'll certainly work on making sure the other ones stay local if we can. Where do you want to go now?
Would you prefer to do your budget, the jail budget, or civil? Who needs some flexibility to?
Give me a number.
You want to start with Department 13, Civil?
We can do that.
What department?
Department 13,
Department
civil.
13 is our civil division.
Okay, at this point, you show some decreases in revenue according to what I am seeing here in the budget sheet. Do you want to address any of those?
Right to revenue. See how you are.
We
sir.
like to eat dessert first.
See how we are, so. Two changes that affected that. One, as you knew last year, there was some statute changes that actually helped the civil divisions because it increased their cost that had been modified in a couple decades. This year, there was one change, and I apologize, it's slipping my mind which paper it's affecting, but it is one of our larger services that it has caused us to get down almost 500 papers this year. That's a lot, but when you're serving 15,000, it's doesn't sound like a lot in the midst of 15,000, but we're down about 500 papers. That's impacting us. And then the other one was that credit card debt collection. Those used to come in masses amounts of credit card debt collection. That has dramatically changed. That's not a statute change. I don't know if it's a practice or what's caused that, but there were certain companies that, send a lot of business for us to serve on their behalf. So whether they've gone different routes in trying to do it, I'm not sure. But that has impacted us on the revenues. You'll see the civil service fee and then the surcharge.
It's about 52,000 reduction.
And again, commissioners, this is our projection. We're trying to give you based on actuals of how we're trending today. I will say on the positive side of this is balancing on having the 3 full-time people for a couple of years now, we're seeing our percentages of service actually increase. So we're being more successful at getting papers served, which is just as important, right, as receiving them.
Great.
But that is an impact. Only just a couple small things in the budget itself. We modified, added a little bit part-time. So as you know, we went away from having the part-timers receive payment for paper. We're paying them hourly wages, but when you have 3 full-time employees, including 4 with a clerical person, we're bringing a part-timer in to fill those roles. And so we need a little money in there to help us. You got 3 full-time service that have been around for a while. Their vacation is pretty lengthy. That's the only reason for the modification to that. Just a small amount in gas down there, just 3 vehicles. You'll probably see that in every budget that you're dealing with. And then under capital equipment, 7345, just a small adjustment there. As you know, we put money aside each year to purchase the vehicles that we usually get right off the lot. We've had some good success, but just kind of based on what we've been paying for vehicles in the last couple of years, we felt like we should probably bump this up a little bit so that we don't get into the year. I don't need one right now. We're in good shape at this moment. I'm sure next year, halfway, 3/4 through the year, we may need that. We have some on our capital, and this will help. Those cars, if you remember, they were probably in their mid-30s, low 30s. We were buying like a program car. I'm a little concerned it's going to go up a little bit.
The only concern I would have is this is a year that we've got 50,000 less in revenue projected.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure it's a great year to add 4,000 to a reserve account, just for,
If you want, Commissioner, I'll go back and look exactly what I have on my
It says you
balance
got
sheet.
$31,940 already. And
There'll be another
probably-
10 this year going into it, so.
So there'll be 40,000 in the reserve.
Okay, I don't have that balance sheet in front of me.
Is the funding from the sale of older vehicles going into that reserve?
It goes into the capital law enforcement side, not the
Right, because it's
civil
not
side.
civil.
Okay.
And to be honest, when we got rid of those cars, they're plain cars, so you're not gonna get the.
So I would hope to see that be flat funded, save us $4,000, where we're gonna have already big issues with the revenue.
We can probably make that work, Commissioner, I'm just trying to think ahead, that's all. I think buying it off the law, that gives, we can just tell them this is what we've got to spend, and
Right.
we did kind of luck out, pros and cons, I guess. We lost one of the motors in one of the vehicles that had higher miles on it, but they actually went good for the motor.
The warranty.
So it's got higher miles, but it's got another motor in it, so that will help us some.
Okay.
I'm
And is
comfortable
there
with that.
consideration for the truck that we had discussed at one point? Or is that gonna come out of patrol side? At one point, we had talked about replacing a sedan with a truck.
Oh, no, this has nothing to do with that.
So I'd move to approve the budget with an adjustment on the capital of motor vehicle from 14 to 10, but approve the budget
As presented with the $4,000 reduction in. Okay, do we have a second? We don't have a second. So we're voting on the civil budget.
Yeah, I know.
We're reducing it by 4,000 on the reserve. So
Would you
what
ask for the question?
I'm asking for a second on the motion to approve this. Okay, you shook your head the other way.
Well.
So we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none. All those in favor?
All right.
Okay, it is
Thank you.
unanimous of those paddling in the same direction. At this point, would you like to do the jail or the sheriff?
Let's do 12,
12.
law enforcement.
Yep.
Okay, moving on to Department 12.
Okay, so in Department 12, I think you're all aware, we've had discussions, ongoing discussions. There were a couple of personnel situations where we're adding some personnel. There are 3 contract deputies coming on board. And the good news is we're looking at our fleet, we're not gonna increase those vehicles, right? So we've looked at what we had. We know that they're going into contract towns, so we're comfortable, even though they may have higher miles, they're gonna go into these towns, so they don't put on quite the same amount of miles in a contract as they would in a zone. So I'm comfortable on the vehicle side. 3 staff persons will come in for that. We'll show you later in this presentation what the revenue will show that, how to offset that. And then the technician for evidence collection on a body worn camera person. That's very important to us, is having that position in. So what we tried to look at we went into the profession where people are doing this out in the world with law enforcement already, tried to find out what is the pay range of those type folks. We found that it fit for us as like our lab sergeant or our training sergeant. It's not a staff sergeant, it's not a supervisory role that needs to be in that increased accelerated rate, but it's more of a very technical position. So we did put that in there. I could go on for hours here about how important this is. We would love to turn these on sooner than later. The body cameras, in-car cameras are important to us, they're important to the public. Having this position and getting this rolling is important to us.
I realize that some of this can't be handled through technology, but have you investigated the use of some of the AI systems that are out there for redacting body camera or transcribing?
That today is not available here. So I think down the road it's going to be. That is not an area today for body cameras that we want to step into the water. They're just in our state now. I think there's 2 departments that are trying it for report writing. And I was part of a committee that sat and listened to it. I'm very concerned. It's kind of like, I don't know if we're ready for this. I think it's going to be a bigger challenge than folks think. So it's something that we need to pay attention to, but as far as the body worn camera, it would have no impact on us today. Not to say it doesn't in the future.
Okay.
Commissioners, we added some money into part-time. And so the question about that is, it's a pretty significant amount. So what we're looking here, Commissioners, is putting on 1 to 2 people and having them work 20 hours with another deputy. That's the challenge that other smaller municipal agencies have over us. They can put on people, they ride with the officers, they stay there. And then if they need somebody in a full-time capacity, they can send them to the academy. They've got general training. We can't just put on somebody and then not pay them to stay with us or work at all. They just won't stay. That was the old days. It worked years ago. This would be a smart way for us to stop the bleed of, in the future, always trying to go out and find agencies that have a full-time person. So it's kind of an investment in the future so that we can hire people right out of our own pool. Commissioner Ball, actually, you remember that days when we had Orrington and Herman, they were almost dominantly part-time.
Yeah.
When in those towns. And then when we were looking for a full-time person, you could kind of go there. I'm not saying this the right way, but it's like going to the farm league system in baseball, right? We don't have that now because all of our positions are full-time. And for us, they have to be full-time. You cannot put part-time people out in some of these positions by themselves.
So how are you using part-time? What is because you're saying it's $80,000 more
right
to do this. What are we doing?
So our goal is to go out and hire some individuals. They have what they call phase 1, phase 2 that they have to go through on their own. Once they've completed those 2 phases, they could come online with us to get their phase 3. That means that they'd be working for us. They could ride with other deputies, which helps us, gets them trained up, but you gotta pay them to do that. You can't just put them through some volunteer training and then not have them ride or participate.
So this is prior to being certified?
Right, a full-time certified. This makes them part-time certified, right? Gets them that part-time certification, which is helpful to the agency. Again, we can actually work them. We'll work them with other deputies. Almost like, honestly, it's like running an ongoing FTO program. And so and we know we will have when your next position comes open full-time, you can look at the 1, 2, 3 people that are in this pool, as opposed to what we're trying to do right now, or every other department is trying to do, is to go and try to find somebody in another department and bring them to you. You folks have asked us about that, right? We've talked about the buyouts and how expensive it is, and the pressure that puts on another agency for having somebody leave their agency.
Okay.
So
yeah, I mean, 3 buyouts in 1 year could be upwards of $90,000, $100,000, just for 3 personnel.
100,000 aggregate?
30,000
each.
First year out of the academy, it's $47,000 to pay back if you buy that personnel. The second year is $36,000, so.
it's just going up and up. Our goal on this, we kind of figured that this would be 2 to 3, so it might be a little less, 2 to 3, working somewhere between 15 and 20 hours a week. That, you've got to keep them interested, because if you only let them work 1 shift a month, they're not going to stay, they're going to go somewhere.
I guess the question again, financially, is there a way to not bite the whole apple in this budget? Is there, in other words, if you had $50,000, is that 1 or 2 people? Or 60,000 instead of 80,000?
Commissioner, I'd rather drop the amount in the buyout, so we moved our buyouts to 47, which
Where
is.
is that in the budget?
Should be down at the bottom. Very last line.
Oh, okay, officer buyout, you've increased it 17,000.
Yeah, if we could, I'd rather take 10 grand out of that or 15 out of that. That keeps us in the $30,000 range. I think the buyout for that officer today is around 36. I would rather reduce that to 36. That gets us in that buyout. I think our last one was 36 and change.
I'd say we're averaging 36 on our
That's
buyouts.
what you are. Yeah.
So if we did that, Commissioner, and it allowed us to do that, this part-time thing is really a smart, fiscally responsible thing for us to do. We want to bring on people. We're going to need bodies. With people retiring, they're not staying in this job near as long. We're
All right,
spending.
well, I was just saying, if you put in a figure, is it for 3 people or 2 people?
We kind of guessed, right? So we put 2 to 3 people at 15 hours. So it can be a little bit less, but in order to keep these people, because it's so fluid, it's gonna be difficult. You know, that some people aren't gonna be able to work 2 shifts a week.
Okay, all right. So if we reduced the buyouts by $11,000, that will help to absorb the 80,000. Well,
We've got to take into account
$80,000 increase.
what the HR costs are and the training costs if we're not feeding this system. I mean, it's a different world we're in. I don't think any of us like the fact that we're seeing an increase here, but I think we've got to reflect some of the realities here too. It doesn't mean you're going to spend $80,000 this year. It means
This has been beneficial to us because we actually have 2 green pins at the academy now that we don't have to do a buyout on. And we have a 3rd one in the pipeline that we're thinking about bringing on that's already been active and riding with us and getting trained. So it has been beneficial to us.
No, I mean, it's a significant change and it comes with a cost, but I think it's a little easier to swallow if you reduce the buyout thing. It helps a little bit.
Yeah, no, I'm comfortable. To me, that makes sense. That allows us to have some money because we may have to buy somebody out. But this, in all honesty, I can't think of a better move that we're making to try to do this because we're going to have good part-time people be able to look at them and get them on board quicker.
Yeah.
Honestly, a lot cheaper.
Okay, so just to be clear, we're taking 11 out of the buyouts, which is which line item, please?
740090, it's the very last
Under capital
line.
equipment.
It's under capital.
17.
What's the
70, so if you go to the 3rd page of the expenses, Commissioner,
74, actually,
see the buyouts?
7490,
So it'll go to 36,047, whatever it is.
oh, take, not 47, but what are you looking at now?
36,000.
All right.
That works, Commissioner. And this is also, as you recall, this is in a capital now, so that if we don't spend it, we could roll it over. If this part-time thing works, we could roll that over and mitigate it next year's budget. So to me, this is kind of we still have to have the insurance in there that if we can't get part-time, it's spun up.
Right.
That's really it on the personnel side of stuff. You'll see under services, 4003, computer services, a small bump there. That's really bringing on the power DMS scheduling. My lieutenant was telling me he's spending 18 hours a week working on our schedule because we have mixed schedules right now, and he's spending a tremendous amount of time trying to manage the schedule. This would be much wiser to put this in play. We had a little bit of money in the computer services this year, so we went ahead and have paid for the startup, the building of the project this year, so we won't have to pay twice.
Okay.
Commissioners, I'll just touch on this super quick. Under parts and maintenance 4005, this comes up every year about fuels. The fuel's up a little bit. One of the things that I didn't know positively, it was an old handshake with our current vendor for fuel. And so I did reach out to them to ask them where we are. We're receiving a very good deal. They shared with us, and they're giving us a very good deal. So
Like January 2020 prices?
it's honestly surprising what they do for us. They take out the taxes, which we would anyhow, but we pay a small percentage of a rack, which is, I think we're doing better than most companies that have commercial rates anymore.
And that has served most of our deputies very well to have that relationship because of the.
Absolutely, yeah, I mean, the stores like it because our deputies are stopping in there and they've grown. And for us, they're all over the county. That's important.
Yeah, thank you.
A lot of zeros after that, except K9s.
And we did approve that last meeting, I believe.
We did, Commissioner. So we took some money out of forfeiture that we had in our forfeiture account, bought up some of the equipment now, so there's no reason for us to build an extensive K9 budget. $4,000 is pretty cheap in it. We may be okay with some of that. There's going to be, we know we'll get donations and things like that for food and the vet bills, so it's really a pretty small cost.
But it enhances your services.
Absolutely, yeah, it's gonna be wonderful. Under uniforms 5405, pretty much straight there. So I know somebody may ask this question here through the request this year that we changed over uniforms. You've already helped us make that purchase. But what we don't have is, because it's a totally different uniform, and I know that we're bringing on new bodies next year, we're going to need some uniforms for next year for new people. We don't have any on the shelf like that we were in for years. So I would request that we just flat fund that.
Okay.
The other thing, Commissioners, that's where our body vests come from. There isn't the funding there used to be for ballistic vests, even though we've applied for the small rural patrol vest. We just don't get the funds that we used to give for that.
In the requests that we asked for ARPA, did you not include some of those ballistic?
No, there's no, in the ARPA request, it was just uniforms only. It's the outer carrier vest, which is not the actual ballistic vest, it's just the pouch, the carrier itself.
And that has a better ergonomic benefit than the holster?
We'll see.
Okay.
Motor vehicles is.
Many say yes.
Change.
On the vehicle, 7345, I am comfortable reducing
They
that.
look cooler, right?
With the 655.
I would say we can reduce that from down the one vehicle down to 11.
Okay, so that would be adjusted down.
Public safety, the biggest part of the public safety, as you know, is the body worn cameras. Our small grant that we got really doesn't offset that cost. This is really, as you remember, we're doing this like we did with the Apex with the TASER lease program. I think, Commissioner, this is one of your concerns, and then for the treasurer, one of the programs that he talked about is how do we fund future capital? If we're doing lease programs, it's going to take some of that pressure off, and how do you go out and fund a whole new rebuild of this and that? That doesn't happen in everything. It works well right now in tasers. It'll probably work in this body cam thing, but we don't have that in mobile radios and portables and things like that. There's not such a program yet. So maybe it's coming that way because it seems like more and more companies are going into lease options, which I don't know how you feel about it, but to me, it takes a little of the burden off from building tremendous capital cost or not being able to get equipment because you don't have capital. So just something to consider there.
Okay.
But again, the biggest increases or the biggest part of public safety is less than lethal with our tasers and body cams.
Questions? Further questions?
If I could, just some clarity, let's go back to 73,4,500 motor vehicles.
Okay.
What is the number, Sheriff, that you propose after adjusting? Because I know we had discussions and it wasn't finalized. I have 665,000 in the budget currently.
That was for 12 vehicles.
Right, and so reducing by 56.
Well, originally it was, in our discussions, originally the 720 was with vehicles. Does the equipment?
No, you actually modified this. This is the price for the 11.
So it's 11 times 53,786.
No, because
That's why I'm pointing.
I understood.
Okay,
The difference is because inside there, that's how you get the car exchange.
I understand that.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yes,
Sorry.
yeah.
All right. So inside that, Commissioners, why doesn't the 53 times 11 come out to what we're asking for? What also is included in the vehicle, the way that we've done it forever, is that pays for the exchange of equipment, that's moving the gear, console stuff, all that has to be moved. It also pays for the lettering of the cars. You know, the old days of doing it for $500, it's a lot more than that now. We've always built that right into the cost of our car in the vehicle budget.
You've not considered getting sponsorships to go on the cars?
You know, when I went out to Oklahoma, I saw it, so it's something to think about. They had it on their sleeves out in Oklahoma.
I have it at around 6,700 per vehicle, does that sound right? With the
Yes.
current number,
Yeah.
but,
Yeah,
okay.
and that includes, so that you got 3,000 something now in lettering and striping, and then the others exchange of equipment. I still feel like our long-term plan, again, going back to capital planning, we're going to see dividend, I think, on our investment today, that we're going to the light bars that are inside. As you know, when we change cars year after year after year, they're too wide, they're too narrow, they don't bolt the same. Now you're going into internal lights, they're gonna last longer because they're inside. The LEDs are much, they're better product. So I think that's gonna save us public safety funds in the future.
Okay, so I'm showing 11 times 67,000.
They're saying to stick with the number he's got in.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I think with that,
The Department 12 budget as amended, the change in the officer bio.
I think what the administrator wanted me to point out, and I remember this discussion, was why is there a difference between the cost of the car and the total? You need to be aware that it includes the changeovers, the striping, all of that stuff.
And who does that?
That's done by Da Vinci, so that's an example. So Colonial would have done that. Instead, we have Da Vinci's right in Herman. They've been our,
So why doesn't Colonial do it?
because we're doing it
So you want,
we're paying a local company to do it.
okay, so that piece of it is
Exactly.
local.
Yeah, and we're still using a gentleman out in Carmel that does
Okay, that's
parts of our equipment stuff.
Okay.
We could have one stop down there, and I thought that, to me, that doesn't make sense. Bring them back here, get them lettered here, have that money stay here at local companies.
Okay.
At one point, there was a delay because of the quality that this gentleman does. He has a big business. Is that kind of rectified itself? At one point, when we had this discussion, there was a delay in getting some of the cars swapped over.
It was a major change in what the equipment was in the car, and that's all been worked out.
Okay.
So dealing with a new company, new vendor, those cars were set up, the old-fashioned words, plug and play. It's much different than it used to be. The first year was a little bit of a struggle because it's so different.
Okay.
He's well on top of it. He treats us extremely well.
No, I'm glad to clear.
Yeah.
We appreciate that.
I move to approve the Department 12 budget with the amendment on officer bio.
That's the only amendment we have.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve Department 12, Sheriff's Department as amended regarding the bio. All those in favor?
Aye.
It is unanimous. Thank you.
Do we want to discuss revenue?
Yes,
Separate.
yeah, you want it, yes, because I'd like to, yep.
So
I
at
don't
this
have a
point, are
solid
we
number.
talking about revenues for the Sheriff's Department that we just approved as you presented it? Okay?
I wanted you to get that vote in.
Yeah, okay.
Well done.
So to clarify, did we just approve expenses?
You did expenses. Yeah.
Okay. So we've just approved Department 12 expenses, we're now talking about revenues.
Commissioner Baldacci has reminded me several times
Very
over the
deft
years,
move, Sheriff.
when you're winning, stop talking. So I didn't talk, I let you vote.
Well, it took a while to learn that.
That's all right.
He's going to account that as one of his great accomplishments in his 36
So
years.
the revenues
here.
are.
So the
part of
revenues in
what-
Department 12, we're looking at now?
Yes, which we didn't approve yet,
Contractual.
apparently.
Well, no, we approved the expenses, but not the
I
revenue.
guess I would just ask if Scott reviewed the revenues and you both are reconciled that they're accurate
We have,
estimate.
the only thing, Commissioner, we don't have a certain, and we'll have to have this discussion moving forward. I have a contract, one of our larger contracts that's coming up immediately. So what I did for revenues right now is more projections. I know it won't be less. I assume there's gonna be some increase in our next
But
contract.
we could, I mean, if they came out more, we could always amend that to authorize.
But some of those contracts aren't until mid-year. So many of our towns are on fiscal year. So for the first 6 months of the year, I know what their contract is. For the next 6 months of the year, the latter 6
I guess
months,
the key is, as long as that's more revenue.
it's more.
It doesn't create a budget problem,
Yep.
as opposed to if it was less. So-
Unless you gave the service away cheaper, I don't think you're gonna do that.
I don't anticipate for those listening that will happen.
Yeah.
Again, for just a clarification, the number that's in the budget now is 2,042,145, which is what you and I left with in our meeting, and you were to review that and get back to me.
Yep, there's none of that changed, so I know that's where we're at, and until we have that discussion.
Okay.
So I would
Yep.
move to
Same
approve
page.
the revenue estimates for the department, for the sheriff's department.
As presented. So we are now approving the revenue as presented in the Department 12 budget. Further discussions? Seeing none, all those in favor? It is unanimous. Jail cap or jail?
Jail cap. Should probably do the jail, because then.
I think you should bring some attention to the jail. It leads, the jail cap is actually what's in the budget,
Yep.
not the jail in particular, but that transitions into revenue for Department 9.
Where is?
So you
the jail?
should find everything under Department 21. Jail cap, and then Department 9 should be right behind it.
I see what you've done here. Okay. So we'll start with Department 9, which is
The jail?
Department 9 jail.
Commissioners, I'm gonna go right to where we always have lengthy discussion. That'll be under the services 4031.
So you don't want to talk about revenues first?
Oh, we can. It'll be a quick conversation.
Okay, go to 40.
Yeah.
31.
All right.
4031, Board of Prisoners. So Commissioners.
Oh, okay.
Let's start jumping around here. We're down on expenditures.
We are in expenditures. We are at 41.
We are at
40.
4031.
40-3100.
So that would be
Boarding
the
of
top of
inmates.
page 2.
Thank you.
So you're keeping boarding it flat. 40? Because it was majorly raised before. So it's, well, staying.
Commissioners, in all honesty, I know that every year that I've come forward, we've just made a discussion out of this, so I thought I'm just gonna put a figure in there and we'll come over and discuss it. I will let you know one significant change. Boarding rates for us are going to dramatically increase in July.
In July?
In July.
And it probably won't stop.
They're going to, from $85 to $100, which is pretty significant. So we do currently, why I say it's July is our biggest, Two Bridges is taking most of our inmates, and we have a contact agreement with them. One of the things that we've done, Captain and I are working on this with them right now. We have an agreement with them to have 55 inmates there. We don't have 55 there all the time. They want those extra 5 beds so that they can use them for Penobscot, which I understand. And he's not able to project his revenues. They're trying to plan it, but they're not using those beds. We've come back with an agreement to stay at the 85, not change it now on us, which for at least another 8 months or so, which is good. And they will just bill us 50 all the time. I might have more there, I may have a few over, we may have a few under. They're just gonna flat out.
85 at 50 all the time, whether they're 50 or.
Until July. There's some other benefits to us. It secures beds for us, which is an issue that we have to have. We used to have to search for them. It's gonna take work off from both sides, their county and ours. Right now, they're counting everybody's name.
Right.
And they spend hours on boarding. That's already done through the jail system to track midnight counts and where the inmates are. This is just a calculation on how they pay it. We'll just get a simple invoice, 50 beds.
Makes sense.
So, and the good part, by doing this now with them, I think that we're gonna get the $85 for 8 more months
Yeah.
versus it just changed at the beginning of the year,
Yeah, good.
if that makes sense to you folks.
All right. Other than that, there's not a lot of change.
A good accounting procedure.
I do want to just mention on the Medicaid, medical and counseling, with the Medicaid changes that are coming, that is going to be great.
You
It's
gotta tell
going
us
to be
where you
great,
are.
but it's not going to be in place for 2 or 3 years.
Right, exactly.
I've attended every meeting.
Yes.
They're very engaged with us. This is the best part of DHHS I've ever worked with.
They had a great session at our convention.
They did, good.
From DHS.
Yeah.
And he did say, don't start making changes to your budget.
Perfect.
It'll take 2 to 3 years, but Maine is.
Was that
getting-
Sergio?
Yes, Sergio.
Yeah,
Very
super nice
articulate,
guy.
very tough. And, but there's, they're doing juveniles, but they consider juveniles 18 to 21.
Yeah.
So if they do have younger men in the jail,
Yeah.
they would qualify for Medicaid services, but Maine is in the waiver process.
Yep.
And, but anyways, he said,
We were-
don't change your budget.
We were
yet.
very worried that how you apply this to a jail, whether you're in and out in 5, 6, 7 days, because there's a lot of rules about
Yes.
setting up meetings and appointments and all of these things. And I'm like, this isn't possible. Sergio and Courtney, Dr.
Yeah, his boss.
She's been wonderful. So believe it or not, they're looking at the California model.
Yes.
So California has the pilot right now.
Yes.
They're doing it there, and I'm very appreciative to hear them talk about what do we do with these individuals, male or female, that are coming in that we don't really know. He might get out tomorrow, or it might be 7 or 10 days. So because these are pilots, they're gonna build at the lowest ground to say, hey, some of these folks, if they're in a day, it might not apply to them at all, and it might apply on these cases. So they're thinking about the county jail
Yes.
model.
He's very much, they said that's one of the problems in other states, is they just focus on state correctional facilities,
prison
not
system.
county, but he's visited every county jail in the state and has met with staff. So
Yep.
I think we have a good partner.
They've been here twice.
Yeah.
They came up twice, they've gone into our building to see it, so.
Yeah. They said, don't change the budget yet. It'll take a couple of years.
Pretrial, this is just a typo and that gets me every year, so under 4070, it says counseling services.
Yep,
Can we just change that? That's pretrial.
pre-trial.
Pre-trial service.
Because counseling service, under services is our mental health contract.
So pre-trial services.
So you want 40.
That's no increase.
Gary, you making a note?
Yep. 40-7,000 should be pretrial services. That maybe you don't want to have Maine because sometimes the companies might change, but if you have pretrial services, that would make sense.
Yeah, we'll just have to look, Gary, make sure other departments don't use that. So if it needs to be changed to 40, 70, 100 or something.
Commissioners, we did estimate there's a couple increases in the medical contract and mental health contract. We estimated, we did reach out to them to see what potential increases there are. Those are already reflected here, so it should come back and bite us later if it goes up a little.
I noticed that electrical is probably gonna run higher than what was budgeted, 1,500 under building and repair maintenance on the second page. It looks like we're potentially gonna be looking at almost a 25% increase.
You got a flat fee. Well, I mean,
And you'll see that again. You'll see that throughout this budget. Because it's never really been a true jail budget for several years because of the whole agreement. And I think what's important is if you look at the bottom line, so we can adjust that, just like Board of Visitors is, the budget number is estimated to be quite low this year. But again, we're putting up targets.
Right.
The important piece of this budget is that on the revenue side, to see the very first line, 01, transfer in and out. The only way that number is achieved is if it's transferred from the county in addition to the cap. And technically, by statute, we can't do that. We're aligned to the cap. What that number is, that's your projected loss for the jail at 3.4 million. And I can tell you the current year, the prior year was just right around $1 million plus. This year, it's projected to be over 2 million. And I really want to emphasize that because this all goes right back to the genesis of developing a strategic plan, your capital plans. Where this money comes from currently is the county's undesignated surplus or undesignated fund balance.
So we're eating up.
It's not the last chunk, ate up what it had in that account. Now it's gonna eat up the rest of it. I can't give you exact figures. I can provide them to you. But what happens is when that turns negative are those monies that are in your reserve accounts, our Fund 3, which is the capital planning, starts to eat that up. So right now, we legitimately have monies to back that up, right? Problem is, we're not like the federal government. We can't just print more money to back it up. We have to have actual money.
Scott, I thought we could vote to exceed the cap.
So that's where that's one of the solutions it is. What I want to point out is this is a really big number that we're currently facing.
Wouldn't it be smart to do that with what you're telling us? Instead of totally 100% reduce, we should increase the cap so people recognize this is what it's costing, not pretend that it doesn't cost.
Yes.
So I think that's something we
Thank
need
you.
to do.
Yes, no, this
Obvious.
is, yes.
And we can vote to exceed the 4% cap.
You can.
Because certainly the cost is more than 4%.
Yep.
And we can shrink this and save some reserves for future, whatever, even if we went to 6%, the point is anything we do would help reduce this transfer from surplus.
Right, anything you do will help, but in my opinion, especially with inflation and the costs of everything going up, that unless you double that plus, you're slowing down the decline, or you're not moving anything in the positive direction. Which again is why I bring this up, that this needs to be another discussion.
Yes.
Which involves some other planning, maybe a different approach. Maybe the county turns to a fiscal year versus, calendar year, but that's another discussion for another day.
But it was certainly something we should consider for this budget.
I would advise that nobody's gonna like the end number. You're not gonna like it at 4% with what I'm seeing going on right now.
But you're just pretending if you.
You're absolute, yes, this is the change that needs to be made. Thank you. Yep, I'll stop talking.
And at the same time, we've got to continue to try to show a formula to the state that shows their responsibility for paying.
Right.
And I hate to keep harping on the old state-sanctioned inmate formula, but that is true. It shows who's responsible for each of these individuals, and MDOC helped us develop the definitions. And so it wasn't like the county just did it and said, hey, we're gonna push this all off, the state should pay for it. We sat down, it's been probably 3 years now, we sat down with the definition of a state-sanctioned inmate and said, hey, easily, murder charge, state-sanctioned, Class A's, state-sanctioned, probations, on and on and on, setting in jail incompetent to stand trial for 100 days, state-sanctioned.
I think the trouble is the bureaucratic accounting that has to go into that is what the approach we're hoping to see is that we increase this, we simply give the state a formula that says you pay 25%, not 20% of the cost of essential jail services like they do with schools of essentials, 55%, that we need to push for a higher contribution, which will be in the next legislature, to push for 25% contribution from the state, because they're not keeping up with the cost of living. But anyways,
I mean, even when they gave MDOC a 10% increase in their budget.
Yes, right.
But they flat funded the counties.
That's right, so we need to see.
For several years.
They apparently have better lobbyists than we do.
They do. They have the government. There you go.
Okay, so we've met the enemy, it is us.
So you identified one positive solution to this, one piece of the problem. To me, in looking at this, and in my history and knowledge, is there are two things here. One is what we just talked about, the state funding, and if we get it, great. If we don't, we can't continue to ignore it. Number two is a new facility. That will bring about efficiencies that will help correct this. And the fact that if we're gonna pay this kind of money, we ought to pay it to have our own facility and to have our services and our inmates here.
Right, so that's $2
I think
million.
that goes without saying that we're grateful to those counties who have worked with us, but they are experiencing their problems that they're now.
They are, that's why I commented earlier that I'm not shocked that it went up to 100. I'm pleasantly surprised it's not higher, and I don't think that problem is gonna get any better.
Just as a comparison, have you done any calculations as to what it costs us to serve an inmate in our population in-house?
Yeah, so it's challenging because some of the formula that some used, they may have debt service on their jail. So when you build that in and you say, how come it's costing, $200 a day for Somerset and $100 a day for
But
Penobscot?
let me clarify, what I'm asking is, have we done a calculation in Penobscot County as to what it costs us right now?
Not during this budget cycle, I can do it. So the only way that we've done it for decades, or here, is just take our total budget, all of it, and divide it by your average daily population to come up with, and it used to be, Commissioner, it used to be in the $80 to $90 range. I'm sure that's gone up now, but it's still in that.
Right, it doesn't really tell you anything because it tells you what you want it to tell you.
Right.
So many assumptions, I mean.
Well, this is the problem too, was when you say that, right? So say it's $110, I think we were at $110 at one point. Say it's $110, and somebody comes in with a program like PACE and says, okay, we're gonna remove 20 inmates.
That's saving you.
You don't automatically save that amount of money, right? Because your lights are still on, your staff's still there.
There's fixed costs, there's so that's just taken up here.
No, but it's a helpful discussion to have as we look at planning for the future, because we won't have your wisdom and historical guidance after December.
Well, there's one assumption that can be made, is it's due to the facility, it's much, much, much higher than it should be.
But we don't have debt.
Well, no, but at the same token,
We have borders.
Yeah.
Well, that's what we're
just, to me, that's the same as debt service.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the other jails have no boarding, and we're paying $2.4 million. If we do 66 inmates this year at the $100, that's $2.5 million. That's going to be more than the mortgage payment on the new jail design of the much cheaper jail. Because it was close to the one that you did years ago, and now it's, this one's half the price of that one.
I won't believe it,
We're winning.
So, at this point, are we comfortable with what we have for a revenue figure, or are you in?
That's best guess estimates right now. The only way that really changes substantially is if you increase the cap. I mean, that'll just lower that transfer, but that's the discussion, as Commissioner
If we
Baldacci
approve what we
pointed out.
have now, we can always revisit that when we vote in the final budget.
But to me, we should make that decision, we shouldn't approve this until we decide what we want to do with the cap, because that would definitely dramatically.
So under
change. We
advisement.
should think about that and then make a decision.
Under advisement.
So I'll entertain a motion to take this under advisement.
Yeah.
Okay, I have a second. Further discussion, seeing none? Okay.
Just on your capital, like, there's some flexibility here, like building improvements is $100,000. And that must be a transfer, does that go into a escrow?
Yes.
I'm just saying, that's money that we raise through taxes and then we put in, that's the real large one. I'm just saying, that to me would be, whether it makes sense to reduce that, that's going into an escrow. When we have this shortage with the transfers and the overall budget, I mean.
So, Commissioner, I guess if I knew that we were a lot closer than we are to going towards another facility, we waited too long, arguably, we waited too long. And we've had to go in and do some emergency repairs over the past couple of years. I don't dare, again, say, don't put that money aside, you can't fix doors, because we might get a new facility.
Well, we've got an escrow account.
Yeah, I don't believe so that will stay in Fund 4, because it's a separate fund, so it doesn't, those escrow accounts don't go in with the other county escrow accounts in Fund 3.
Okay, this is in the 7,000 account.
Yeah, I'm talking the fund, so the jail is in its own operating module for county government.
So there's an
Separate from
escrow
a budget.
for building improvements.
I don't believe that has been carried forward due to the $3 million
So it's just not
potential.
spent, like it hasn't been spent this year, so we raise it and then say there's a shortfall, but we don't actually.
But you're not transferring
You're
that
not-
money because the cap is only at
4%, well.
4%, so you could equivalently say 4% of it might be your 25,000 or 2,500, but all of that money does not tie back. If you used it all, it increases that loss, so that then it affects the county numbers in the general fund.
So
which-
you're putting it in the budget and it actually affects a surplus, because you don't spend it.
In Fund 4, not in, but if you don't get the revenues, you don't achieve the surplus. So the problem here, so I'll.
If it's not spent. Now, you folks have done some modifications that didn't come out of the budget.
Right, that we just talked
That's probably gonna go away, right? So there continues to be repairs that have to be made. And so it's more likely that we'll spend that money now that you're not gonna have that money coming from a pool, from ARPA or other places.
So 5-year history, the jail on the expenditure side has been about $500,000 underspent.
Okay.
That's not the problem. So you say, well, then how can I be $3.5 million? Because if you look on the revenue side, it's over $2 million on a 5-year average. And most of that's within the last 3 years. This problem didn't really surface until around middle part of 2022, when we lost most of the supplemental funding. So that's the other
All right,
reason.
so you're saying it makes financial sense to keep that in. Is that what you're saying, Scott?
Well, if it's a guideline and you want to restrict it to 50 so that you can't add $50,000 to the deficit, if actually spent,
If you
then
reduce it
reduce
to
it.
50,
Right.
are you reducing the deficit by 50?
Yeah, well, you're reducing what would be the transfer, the projected deficit, but you would reduce it if it was spent. Historically, it hasn't been spent, so yes. The direct answer could be yes.
Well, we can think about,
My only concern, Commissioner, is that it's like we have to continue, we're making some repairs and stabilizing the place. I'd hate to see us cut it out. These repairs, every one of them is just look at the doors.
well,
the expense.
we still have ARPA funds that
Yeah.
I.
But again, you're talking 50,000 is a drop in the bucket
Yes.
when it's $3.2 million problem.
Okay.
We haven't
That's-
even discussed
yeah.
the HVAC system yet, have we?
No, we did do
All
some
right.
cleaning
Well,
of,
sorry,
and
Brian.
done some repairs, but yeah,
No,
All right.
it's a healthy discussion for people to understand that
it
the water's
is.
coming in a little faster than we're bailing out right now.
That's a great analogy. It's really serious. It is serious because, again, we're trying to catch up on some financial work here. And I've been able to bring it forward by taking care of these numbers. They're not audited, but they're done. So that's why I can confidently sit here and tell you that this problem, you're gonna see it from the auditors, you're gonna see it in other areas really, really quick.
So I move that we take the department.
Under advisement. Yeah.
Have a second? Have a second, further discussion. Seeing none, all those in favor? Taking it under advisement.
Thank you.
And do we need to take any action on the jail cap?
I thought that was the action on the
I'm
jail
sorry,
cap, yeah.
that was the jail, no, that was Department 9.
The jail cap.
Yeah, the jail cap is the one in the budget.
Okay.
Yeah, Department 9 is not in the
So we
budget.
would, at some point, need to move to override the jail cap to an appropriate number to reduce the shortfall.
Yes.
So I guess what I'm asking is, do we need to take action, either do that or take it under advisement today?
If the last action was for Department 9 and I'm wrong, then you need to take action on Department 21. Just, I would say do it anyway, clarify that you're gonna take action on 21,
Okay.
which is basically should be under advisement.
Okay, so I
Yeah.
move that we take Department
Thank you.
21 under advisement.
Yep.
Second? Yes. Have a second on taking Department 21 under advisement. All those in favor?
Thank
It is
you.
unanimous.
Okay, yep.
Okay. We have concluded Section K, unless the sheriff has any other great news to bring us.
I have a couple other things real quick, Commissioners.
Okay?
One I desperately need attention on, and this does affect our we've actually kind of planned this into our
Can I ask you
budget.
a question? Do you need your staff, or can some of them go back if they have other things they have to deal with?
I think they want to be part of this.
That's fine. I just want to be respectful of.
Yep, no, I appreciate that. This is a great learning opportunity for those that haven't been in that role a long time, and both of these projects mean a lot to us.
Okay.
We came forward with our request on a couple of different things. We also diligently put our paperwork forward to show you our emergency needs, even by list. And then we did it with the capital projects. I'm at a situation now with two projects, both are communications that I need some direction or approval of these funds to be spent. The jail one, as you know, several years ago now, the renovation of the control room came in two models. One was $1 million up front. I think it ended up being 900,000, somewhere around there on their modifications. The other $1 million was set to the side, was gonna be man down system, additional cameras, blah, 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 blah. We've done some good things and got a couple grants, took care of cameras. The man down system has never been addressed. And at the same time, we are in desperate need of an upgrade. Our radio systems are so old. Portables are old. We're borrowing portables. You have a company that's working well now with PRCC. They've given us some fixed pricing. What I'm asking is, can we move forward with our request that we put in for ARPA on the radio system for our jail staff? It is critically important. This has the man down system, communication system. This is far less than our original request.
There was some paperwork, I don't believe you have it.
Do we have any paperwork on this?
No, and I apologize, that was,
I see something in here, PCSO, mobile and portables.
Yeah, we have the
Yep, you do. I'm
quotation from
sorry, yeah,
RC.
you don't,
Correctional portables and man-down system, second part of control room, $250,000.
yeah, that's,
Law radios, I assume that's law enforcement radios and portables, mobile radios and repeaters, completion of fleet upgrade, $142,000.
So Scott, is this something that what the sheriff just said, as far as what we budgeted, what we set aside, where are we at?
so this lines up with the requests that were brought forward, the county requests with regards to ARPA. So I know the $250,000 for the radios was one, and there was initially support by the commission for it. And then it proposed as a single, and then it got reverted back to let's have a presentation. So you were leaning towards supporting that one at one point. The other one, just for clarification, Sheriff, is $142,403 total.
It's actually the top two together. That's on the law enforcement side, the mobile radios and the mobile repeaters. That's on the Department 12 side. Commissioners, I saw this firsthand the other night. We've heard about it, our command staff shared it, supervisors. I watched firsthand the other night when we were in Plymouth at a standoff situation, and I have the guys there with mixed match radios, and it was terrible when we can't communicate, so.
The 43,870, that's for the new fleet, right? That's for the new 11 vehicles?
Right.
Okay, that's why this doesn't look familiar.
Again, the other part of that, it was, we planned on this and have been for quite a while, not to add those to our budgets, because we didn't want to build more into our budget.
The 142,403 was presented in the ARPA county request. The 43,870 was not, but that's as a result of the new vehicles.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't make sense to do partial.
What's the 250? The 250 is in addition.
Yeah,
That's the jail by itself, the jail project, so that's a new control room radio system.
But what I'm saying is that part of the ARPA?
Yes.
So it's been approved, but we didn't have the.
tentatively, and then during the conversation, the reason it was tentatively approved was because, remember, as the sheriff pointed out, that the control room upgrade wasn't as expensive as originally thought. But also part of that was the man down system, which comes back to the radios, had not been fully completed.
Okay, so what do we, so I think it's good to use the ARPA funds that are remaining to fill this, because obviously our budget is already overstressed.
Yes.
With this, so it's a good opportunity to take things that are truly correct, a lot of inadequacies. So what do we need to do to approve this, or are they ready to be approved? Have there been enough?
We presented back several months back on both of these programs.
So I'd like to take it in sections so we understand what we're doing. We're going to approve up to $250,000 for the correctional department portables and man-down system.
Yep, Department 9, yep.
And we have remaining funds that we had initially allocated.
For the control.
No, they get closed out.
It did.
Yeah, they get closed out. That's in the undesignated part now, but yeah.
Okay. So are there funds there that we could draw to cover the cost of this?
No, we need to make it as an opera. This is.
Okay. Okay, so
But this was included in that total spreadsheet that I gave you of all of the county requests.
Okay.
Right.
The only one that wasn't is the 43,870.
Okay, so let's take care of the up to 250,000 for the corrections.
I'd move to approve for an ARPA funding of the second part of the control room update, including the man-down system, up to $250,000.
And the portables for the officers?
Yeah.
Okay. Do I have a second? Yeah, second. Have a motion and a second to expend up to $250,000 on the correctional system?
From ARPA funds.
Using ARPA funds.
That includes the radios.
That
Well, the
includes the
corrections,
portables and the man-down system for the correctional department. So all those in favor?
Aye.
That is unanimous of those present. Now we move on to law enforcement radios. We have radios and repeaters, completion of the mobile fleet upgrade for $142,403.
I'd move to approve the request from ARPA funds for the mobile radios and repeaters to complete the fleet radio upgrade of $142,403.
Second.
I have a motion and a second regarding the upgrade for the radios and repeaters for the law enforcement fleet. Further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Now we have 11 new vehicles that we have approved, and the $43,870 was for 11 or 12 vehicles?
11.
11. So up to $43,870 to complete the new units that we just approved in the budget.
So moved.
Have a motion? Have a second?
Second.
This is for ARPA.
This is using ARPA funds as well for this.
Yep.
All ARPA.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
On
So you
behalf of-
spend $450,000.
On behalf of our staff, I want to thank you.
Well, I appreciate.
This is with safety issues. It's important to make sure that we have good communication. That's no question about it.
Sure.
On the fiscal side, that this is a smart thing that helps protect our budgets for the next few years when it comes to those type of capital equipment.
So to clarify, we're buying these, we're not leasing.
That's correct. I know it's been some time since we got this request from the company, but because it is RCM, they've been very good to work with. I'm sure they'll hold the same pricing for us. So,
Just to clarify, going forward, at least in next year's budget, if not this year's, we need to take a calculation of what the replacement costs of these are if we're buying them.
Yeah.
And a timeframe.
And I'm assuming that the 7 to 10 year is
useful life.
I think that's probably
So
realistic.
7 is probably more prudent.
I will not be shocked if there ends up being a lease program. It's slowly moving towards that in every other piece of technical equipment that we have.
Just because we reserve it doesn't mean we have to spend it. But if we have to spend it, we don't reserve it, then somewhere down the road, somebody's not going to be happy.
That's a true fact.
Thank you, Sheriff.
Thank you guys very much. Last thing I want to, this is just informational only. We're excited about this. The Vine project, victim notification system. They reached out to see certain counties that would take on this project as a pilot. We took that on. I think we're a good size for it. We're passionate, our office is passionate about making sure that we protect victims. Another thing, I had a discussion with the county administrator this morning. This is something the DA's office, and I know there's a lot of discussion over their victim advocate witness folks. They may be able to tap into this too. What this is our records data management base in the jail, Spellman. This system is going to be able to go in there and extract information out about when somebody's released, whether it's long-term, they've been in jail for 9 months and they're getting out, or they just bail out tonight. The system automatically notifies the police department, the victim's family. We do that now, and it's all paper-driven. And the ones that sometimes get missed is the individual doesn't get released for 8 or 9 months versus they were released last night. No cost to the county. So we're excited about that program.
Thank you, Sheriff.
Very well.
Okay.
Anything from your team?
There's Dallas Cowboy fans here, so I
Just
hope we
gonna
don't.
say, Sheriff, I think it's a dress code violation, a rather serious one.
It's very,
Yeah,
Very
I'm just
good.
noticing the lanyards. I thought we had a uniform protocol for.
It's not like they beat up on the Patriots or anything, you know?
The 49ers didn't look too pretty.
No, they look pretty.
did the
Nine
bids
is
stay
always
with
look
you?
pretty. What?
Did the bids stay with you?
Yes.
Scott, could I, Chair, if we,
Yes.
on the administrative update on the budgets that he's listed, if we could defer that to the next meeting?
Yeah, reading my mind or
Several,
something? Yeah, I was gonna
Very
suggest,
minor, and you
I was
could
gonna, yeah, there's nothing
send us-
major in there,
You
and
could just let us know your thoughts on it.
so I can clean up the rest of it and give you the computation page, and
Yeah.
then you'll know what you need to work
We
with.
reached our capacity for
Yeah.
today's.
I can see that. No, I was gonna recommend the same thing.
The warrants in item M of our agenda.
I believe we're done. If we need to leave, thank you very much.
I think I'm part of your
Around
executive
for-
session.
Yeah, we have some executive sessions. So I have a motion regarding the warrants, which are item 10 on our budget. Do I have a second? Second. I have a motion and a second. Further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, it is unanimous. At this point, I would entertain motions for 4 executive sessions. 2 of which are on labor negotiations, 1 acquisition of real property, and finally a personnel matter.
So moved.
Have a motion, have a second? Okay, we'll take a brief break while we go into executive session. All those in favor? Vote unless doubted.